Howdy. Howdy, Buckeye. Stephen. I'm in a little better form tonight. Yes, early tonight. I wanted to do early last night. That's why I was frustrated. Yeah, a lot of footage is blurry because it's so windy and rainy. Wait until I show you more about Shanghai. Snort if you were tortured like I am. All right. We got to skip that ad so we can get out of here. And we can get the show started. All right, howdy folks, welcome back. Here we go in a little bit better form tonight. Sorry about last night, but still need to squeeze in a report anyway. So we're starting early because, all right, not much going on here. We're not going to go frame by frame right here. We're going right to the meat. We're going to our current G4, G not 3, G4 storm. Okay, it arrived a little late. All these guys like to anticipate it on 2 days. I like to stick with the 3-day plan. And here we are kind of going into day 3, and here it is hitting, okay? We're seeing red in these bands up here in Canada. We're seeing it's almost to KP8, okay? I would love to get that other instrument that Wages has there, where we get a little more current updates instead of 3-hour chunks, so. But here it is, and once it hit, I thought, I better take advantage of this and go live and let you know that right now, it didn't hit during the daytime, it's hitting at nighttime, so that's kind of a good thing as well. But here's your storm, G4 hitting at night, and it's already reached above KP7, almost KP8 there, all right? And you can see your D-layer absorption map lighting up here, okay? Look at this, September 17th in purple. G4 predicted for tomorrow. We're at G4 already on the 16th. Okay, so they bumped that one up, didn't they? Remember yesterday they were calling for G2 here and G3 today. So no surprise here that it's uptick in magnitude here on our scale. Okay, so let's back up just a little. Whoa. Let's back up even just a tad bit more. I want you to see that your solar flux indice is 169 and it's down a little bit. Okay, that's kind of good. Your sunspot number count is 103 and it's climbing back up again. It was way down to like 66 or something, whatever it was last night. And your area is still in the green. But meanwhile, let's just pop this open really quick here. Zoom on in and kind of do a regular show. Mixed in with a little bit of all right, so 3824 rotating out of view. Okay, old news. It's this region 3825 right here that everybody's kind of watching. The configuration is still very complex, but it's kind of just sitting there, not doing much. It's 3827 over here that's creeping in, and 3828 over here too that we're going to have to watch as well. But this one still has that complex magnetic configuration here. But what we're whoops, let me zoom in right there. But we saw an event happen out of this region, and it seems to have kind of quelled it, and not much activity since then. Okay, so there's that, and then go ahead and let me back on out. Whoops, we don't have to back out of that. We can stay right there and back out this way. And then slide on over. So you see in purple up here, severe G4 geomagnetic storm conditions observed following the passage of the CME. Okay, so let's slide on down and see how fluxed we are. Here's your GOES X-ray flux. And not showing much today, just one little bump, and then our bump right here on the spike. And we'll come back and look at that a little later. But right now, we're still kind of focusing on this G4 storm. So there's your D-layer absorption screen right there. And then let me go ahead and pull up a D-layer absorption map, and we'll load that up as well. And take a peek at that sucker, because this just started not too long ago. It was a little late in arrival for most. But, well, when we go back and check the satellite, I kind of stick with a 3-day thing, but, all right, so let me just scroll down a bit so you can see our ticker here and this thing going. I'm going to let that kind of creep and play by itself for a second while I get a sip here. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Thank you for taking a moment of your to be here with this precious family, okay? This is not your ordinary live stream, all right? This is way, way different. And if you haven't been through one of these shows, hold on. You better have a good spiritual foundation, because what we deal with here can rattle a person. And fair warning, what we deal with here can be disturbing to some. I'm going to pause it there and just start taking control here. So here in this last little bit, since right about here, you can see it's increased, and we got red here and red at the upper pole too. Okay, so we're taking on an absorption event. Okay, absorb. I'm a stickler for absorption, and there's a reason why, because this is going to have repercussions down in the core, down below. All right, let me back out. Oh, come back to this. So there's your current D-layer absorption. All right, now let me pull back a little bit here. Okay, your X flare potential down to 15, your M flare up at 55%. We just had almost an M flare right there, so that should be a little bit higher, but we're not going to split hairs right now. Meanwhile, what I'm concerned about is on the 17th, KP of 8 and a G4 magnetic storm for tomorrow's weather forecast and tonight's too, because we're currently in G4, and this will probably be a long show. So at the end of the show, we'll come back and we'll kind of check the progress of this too as we go through the course of the show, hopefully. I have no rattle anymore. Oh. All right, well, here we go. Main sunspots to consider: 3825, which is beta, gamma, and growing, and 3824, which is beta, gamma, and growing. Okay, so those are our only two sunspots to really tangle with right now. And I just showed you those a minute ago. Here we can just go back really quick. 25, the complex, and 24. No. This is one we got to worry about. 27. This is going to rotate out of view. The only thing I'm concerned about with is if it hits our IMF line, and if we're emitting gamma rays and we're emitting a bunch of electricity ourselves, planet right back down the IMF line, when that thing crosses it, it could spark. But I don't think we're going to see too much more out of that. We'll go back over here to the satellite. You see where these spires are coming out? That's the regions I'm expecting. So, and then we have major jump in data at this thing too. So that's why there's not much to look at here. What we should do, though, is kind of go forward and reverse. Sometimes I jump around a little bit, do things differently. Yeah, there's nothing over here at Stereo A showing much either, so that's not really what I'm concerned about is activity today. It's the activity that was days before. And let's see, 16. Let's go 3 days before on the 13th. And it was stronger than expected. 3 days ago, this came off the sun. Well, let it play really quick here. Give it a second to loop. Okay, and we saw this on the show. There's two of them. You see the upper one? So big one right there with a bunch of moons, and another one up above. And our planet goes this way, orbits the sun going this direction, so this is out in front of us. Okay, no surprise that it's stronger because these big objects carry some of that radiation. They absorb it, and then even though the CME doesn't come our way, if that object passes by, a lot of that, well, how do I put this? A lot of that energy, electricity, geomagnetic electricity, passes by and interferes with our magnetic field, and then we get our stronger than expected storms. Okay, now also something to look at too, what we were talking about, because this was predicted to hit on earlier today. Also go back and look at the 14th too, because this was the event that everybody was thinking it was this halo that was going to hit us. 2 days for this event to hit us. So let that load up for a second, and I'm going to thank you again for taking a moment of your time. That event right there was the big one, right? And everybody was expecting that to get here sooner than arrival in 2 days. And I'm telling you, what we're seeing is not this yet, okay? It's not this. What we're seeing is yesterday's, the other one I showed you on the 13th. This is still to come tomorrow. This is your G4 for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, you add 3 days to the 14th, tomorrow will be the 17th. Okay, so here we are for the 17th, and then here we were for today that nobody was expecting, or, they weren't expecting this big, and there's two of them, okay? Two of them, this first one going to be, your first impact, lasting a while, and then just right as it, you'll get a little break, and then that second one. So I believe over here, when we look at our KP, we'll hit a spike. We might hit one just a little bit higher, and then it'll come down for a minute in between the second one, and then a second one will hit, and we'll see another spike. Okay, so there's your current ongoing G4 storm, okay? Go put some hot dogs on a plate, go stick them outside, and cook yourself some hot dogs in the middle of the night. No, I'm joking. Okay, so before we get to that, let's open this tracker. Because here's the tracker, and what everybody was tracking was this big CME, right, that I showed you on the 14th. Yet, see, I think I'm sticking with the 3-day rule. Okay, unless it's coming out super, super fast. But rarely of us, do we see you get here in 2 days. If there's something out in front, look, here, let me pull this open and use this as a display. This is the one that's clipping us. The other one they showed is going more this way. But if there's one that's out in front of this that came off the day before, it's going to hold this one up, okay? And there's going to be a little magnetic barrier in between. They don't necessarily always blend together and cannibalize. Usually there's a polarity boundary in between, a little hiccup. You'll get an impact, a little hiccup, and then another impact. So I believe the impact that was out in front of this event the day before is holding that one up. We have yet to see this one. What we're seeing from the 13th is in front of that one. All right. Really hard to keep track of these things. That's why I'm not kind of counting on their geomagnetic forecast so much anymore as just coming over here and doing the homework. It's always about doing the homework and studying, and that's how you knew the answers when you found out yourself and you didn't cheat and use somebody else's homework. All right, so there's your objects. Big, big, huge one right there coming off with a bunch of moons here. We'll even pause that right about there. Okay, you can see your flow asymmetries and symmetries. You can see it hitting the lip of the spheroid and then draping over right there. Let me pull it over more that way. You see little moons, little satellites that are going along with it. And if I can just get a little bit more of that button, you can see the rim right here where plasma is spreading out in a circular fashion, of impact zone or damage ring, and then hits the top of the spheroid and trails over it. Okay, you're bending light right there. It's changing and going over it. That object right there, when it collected all that plasma, see how much plasma it took with it? It's all charged up, and then it passes right in front of our planet. And then we have another one just a couple hours later that charges up, passes over our planet, probably to the north. Can you see it right back in here? There's a good shot. Okay, it's that big object right in there. Okay, and you can see why the plasma streaks out and stretches out and goes around this. It drapes around it much like a tablecloth over an invisible table. Okay, so we have those two that have created this, what I believe we're going to see is a double impact. Okay, this is scrubbed because it already missed the mark already. So you can scrub that. That's not valid. But what I'm thinking is happening is we're seeing the first CME from the 13th hit. Okay, and then it's going to be like a double whammy, I believe, here. I may be wrong. But hopefully not. I don't want to see this stuff at all. This is bad news. All right. A lot of hard work just went down the toilet right there, and it's like, So here we go. Got to redo it all over again. So here comes another big round of pressure. This is going to mean earthquakes, bigger volcanic eruptions, maybe a new volcano, more SO2 emissions, and fires breaking out possibly. Okay, this is a new round of pressure coming in down to the core. It's going to burp like acid reflux and it's going to burn the surface of the earth with either fires and volcanoes, fissures, cracks in the ground. Oh, I'll show you some video of the water plumes coming out of the ocean floor and creating boils on the surface. Okay, it's water coming out of the ocean floor and coming up to at the surface, and on beaches too. It's happening all over the place. And with this much, with G4 activity coming in like this, is not going to help at all. This is great for aurora photographers and everything. You might go see your auroras here. Let's pull this open too so you can see that both hemispheres are getting struck right now. Okay, this gets diverted to the poles where it sends it down to the core. Core absorbs it. The core is metal. Metal, when heated, expands. Round spheroid core heating and expanding, and when it expands, it pushes the magma, the shell, everything outward. The shell can't really expand outward because of all the pressure on top of it, so it'll expand down onto the core. And then we start grinding, and that's not good because then we lose our magnetic field. We could get hit with the G4 and have no auroras and just cook the surface of the earth. That would not be good. All right, so right now, going into a G4, this is going to have repercussions too when it gets down to the core. And we have a grinding session, and then relief, and then grinding, and then relief, and then grinding. You know, we don't have the current Schumann, but the last standing image that we do have shows you an example of this grinding, and then relief, and then building pressure and grinding, and then relief. It's probably going to be a lot like this, but on a bigger scale, with really long peaks, longer duration grinding. You might see some weak sites. Where's a spot here? We want good continuity in this green line. And if it fails and falters and gets weak, well, then that allows a little more geomagnetic radiation in. So not only, see, they're going to blame a lot of this on a weak field, but we have fluctuations in our field. But this is also due to these bigger objects that are, that retain a lot of that radiation. Okay, so here we go. A little later than expected, slower than expected, the CME associated with the X4.5 solar flare on Saturday just passed the ACE spacecraft 2249 UTC. Okay, solar wind speed initially looks to have increased to above 500 kilometers per second. A passage past Earth is expected within the hour. Great timing for aurora sky watchers in North America, Europe. Let us just let the BZ-IMF component cooperates. Magnetometers geomagnetic sudden impulsive measuring 39 NT. Okay, this moment that the 4.5 CME passage past Earth. Okay, so they're all on board. It's the 4.5. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but that 4.5 didn't come off the sun until the 14th. It would be due on the 17th. I don't think they took into account this event that happened on the 13th. I think they just overlooked that double event right there, and all the little satellites and moons that go along with it too. So again, back to this. Severe geomagnetic storming is now in progress. That's why we're doing an early show, because it's in progress right now. So despite the full moon, aurora sky watchers are reporting visible aurora. So here, let's see the map real quick. If you see your state, probably Montana, up in Washington, northern Idaho. What's this? North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Might even be seeing it down into Michigan a little bit. Depends on how far down this goes. Okay, they might even see it in Florida. Who knows? But that's what it's showing on your map for right now. Okay, so some of you want to go out and see it. Go see it. Get some pictures while you can. And if you want to send them, well, my Gmail doesn't work anymore. All right, let's get on back. Posted them on here, but there's other channels you guys probably participate with that. Back to the severe geomagnetic storm in progress. Alert, the KP index of 8 or 9 above threshold reached 20 KP of 8, 9. What's this? All right, well, 8 to 9 is what it looks like they're showing. Okay, I showed you on the little chart there. I put 7 plus. I wanted to put 8, but that's like overshooting it. So, anyways, G4, severe conditions right now. Here's this wonderful little chart. You can come over and see your incoming CME detected here. Let's pop it open for you guys that like this chart. What I wanted to talk about, though, on this chart is your BZ component up here. Okay, where are we right now? It did drop to minus 10 for a minute there. It seems to be climbing back up, though. That's here. Let's try this. Try not covering it with the arrow, Brian, and let the audience see it. Okay, the last little dots, you see how it came down, way down here a little bit, but climbed back up. So we'll see how this impact, how it hits. Okay, it's already, you can see it on this, on all the temperature, speed, density. Okay, all these things are reacting to our impact. Whether it's the 14th or not, it's an impact. Okay, we will see in the future what becomes of this. That's our last night's article. Okay, let's move on. We're going to come over here. So the CME impact sparks severe storm. Arriving about 8 hours later than expected, a CME hit Earth's magnetic field on September 16th. Okay, the impact sparked a severe G4 class geomagnetic storm. Okay, no surprise here. We kind of said we might be a little stronger. And it's underway now. High and even mid-latitude sky watchers should be on alert for auroras during the night of September 16th and 17th. That's right now. All right, partial eclipse of the harvest moon. Don't even miss a sign in the heavens. There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. A harvest moon that's going to be a partial eclipse. This week's full moon is special for several reasons. It's the harvest moon, the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox. Autumnal equinox. Puh. Boy, mouthful. It's a perigee moon, which is to Earth than usual, and it's going to be partially eclipsed. This animation created by Peter, okay, shows the moon grazing Earth's shadow during the eclipse. It's going to be kind of a blood moon, you guys. A blood harvest moon. Harvesting blood moon. September 18th, huh? Yeah. All right, I'll let you come over and you can read this article and stuff and go through that some more, but I just wanted to show you there for geomagnetic storm underway right now. Okay, and we all saw that. Now, over to here. Boy, how do we even say this? All right, let's get this at 850, please. Yeah. Okay. You can see the storm that just went, this typhoon that just went through Shanghai. Okay. We got more growing out here off the coast here. Got a big storm brewing up in there. Looking around. Some vortexes growing up in this region too. I'm just kind of looking around for vortexes at the moment because we'll do a weather report towards the end where it all congeals together. All right, here's this little hurricane out here kind of rotating around, doing its thing, and some other rotation here. So we're going to watch something. Now, also something people were asking about, did the Earth shift? Okay. The Earth did not shift, but the Oh, this convergence zone, all right? Usually the convergence zone is right on the equator, and air from the south doesn't cross the equator and go into the northern hemisphere. Let me pull it over to this side. It's a little bit better. A little bit better here. Okay, and what we're having now is this air is slipping up to this region now. This is your convergence zone, is this new latitude, about 15 degrees north of where our old convergence zone, or north of the equator. And you can see it kind of right through here is where air stops going south and then goes across and back up north. But this air from the south has gone up to this latitude. So there is a shift going on right here. Okay. But it's not like when we pull this and make the wind kind of skip and move back down to the equator, it gives an example, but it makes it look like the Earth shifted. Kind of like we're more this way and the equator is more up here. All right. Right now we're heading towards autumn and the equinox, and that's a transition season and stuff. But this activity, where it's coming up from the southern hemisphere up to this latitude, is screwing up our sandstorms that are trying to come off of here. All right. So what I'm going to do now is take the wind off and put the sandstorms on. Okay, and now you can see, oh, a little bit better. It's a jumbled mess, but there's still a lot of sand being able to still come off of here. Let's go ahead and put the winds back on really quick. I want to see what's going on here. Okay, they're actually kind of curling back and cupping this. So this is a something here where it comes up and blocks this from reaching out. These hurricanes, these vortexes right here, have stopped the conveyor belt system and, blocking the sand from reaching all the way across. So as soon as those things diminish and move on out, hopefully this can continue to get across. As long as this doesn't interrupt and get, push sand back. We need to have these sandstorms right now. They're saving our butt. Okay, and the moment we get a little break in them, you get a vortex, and the vortex starts spinning, then it disrupts the flow. So it breaks it up even more. So we need these things to hurry up, clear on out, so this new wave of sand can move across and diminish our sandstorms. Okay. Meanwhile, as we come back over to this, whoa. Yeah. I'm going to put it right there, and you can see, very dense over here, spreading all across this whole region, very intense up in that eye still. This eye still looking at this region right here. Hopefully you don't see it. Anyway, there's that sand all over the place up here. Reaching out into the Atlantic, filling up this a little bit lightly. Slight little hints making it over here as well. Even down to the area, even to South America here. But one place that doesn't have a lot of sand to stop the influence of storms is this region right here. And wait until we get to the weather report when you see this. Oh boy. They are in big trouble. It just keeps getting bigger and uglier. If some of you see what I'm talking about. Those that you don't feel left out, you don't want to know. All right, let's get started on our country divided. Gee, why do you think our country might be divided? Could it be our mainstream media? Boy, are they in hot water too. Anyways, here's your country divided. You can see the east side bleeding out SO2. Okay, this is sulfur dioxide, basically vaporized magma that's turned into gas. Okay, sulfur with oxygen, sulfur dioxide pouring out of the ground, all kinds of perforations in the crust to the right. On the left is all thick, hard granite, tough surface crust, but we have perforations, volcanic perforations. Okay, so there's your country divided. And if we'd all just kind of figure it out, it's not too hard to figure out, really. But just get sucked into the mainstream media and believe in them. And you will never escape. All right, let's get our fire report going as well here, because SO2 comes out of the ground so hot. Okay, the gas itself, it's not on fire, but the gas emissions come out so hot that they cause spontaneous combustion in nearby vegetation. Now, when I talk about spontaneous combustion, did you all see the fire in the parking lot at Walmart today? Yeah. Okay, there is a big 1 acre patch on the ground that is charred, yet the flames are shooting straight up in the air, right? It's not touching the ground's not on fire, yet it's charred everything in the area because it's so hot. Heat can reach out. It doesn't necessarily have to be a flame touching the ground. Heat can reach out and make things spontaneously combust. That's what it's called, spontaneous combustion sometimes, right? And levee activity also. So we have SO2 emissions so hot that they spark fires. Now, this was activity happening up in Canada last summer, and it's still continuing this summer. All right, we see little flare-ups with inbound waves of pressure. Okay, as soon as the sun spits out something, it gets absorbed, and then the earth burps it back up. Here's your acid reflux in the form of SO2 coming to the surface and starting fires. Okay, not has a fire because sometimes they're around a bunch of rocks and there's nothing there to burn, all right? But this activity had crept down into Washington, and there was a big breakout here in Oregon a while ago, and that's diminished. That's good, okay? Meanwhile, we have a new little intense plume growing right here in the Bay Area, just north of the Bay Area, and little fires starting to, happen around that area. Okay, activity had come all the way down into here. These two fires were sparked by their SO2 emissions, okay? We look over here. And this activity had started creeping east, but not east of the line. So right now, that's your activity for the moment. The fires seem to have reduced a little bit, which is a good thing. I like to report good news sometimes, okay? Not doom and gloom. I'm just trying to... Sucks being the bearer of bad news, man. I had to take this on now. All right, let's continue. You see down here in Mexico, their plumes are getting bigger, more concentrated, more active. Cuba, purple, Jamaica, activity all across the top of South America, running down the west coast of South America. Here's our fulcrum point on the plate boundary system. Okay, right here is weak spot, and it's always concentrated right here. I like to come check this as a good gauge of how intense stuff is getting. These other little ones around it are good indicators as well. This one's usually always kind of concentrated, but these other ones right next to it are good indicators because they get more intense, more organized, more concentrated. Our fifth one right here comes into play a little more. And I even see stuff growing right in here, and even little patches right around this bigger spot starting to, come to life. And that's our indication that pressure down below is pushing out more SO2. Got to remember, it's acts like a balloon. There's air pressure from, not air pressure, but there's pressure from inside trying to come outside. And little pinholes in your balloon, well, all kinds of air comes out. And if your balloon's filled with SO2 and you poke a bunch of holes in it, you're going to have a bunch of SO2 emissions like this, and it might smell like rotten eggs in your room. Then, as we come over here to Hawaii, this is the hub of the Pacific Rim. If the Pacific Rim are like a bicycle rim, well, they all come together, spokes come together in the hub. And this is the hub of the Pacific Rim, and pressure has to come out here too, okay? We have plate boundary systems all around the rim, and volcanic systems inland and stuff that vent pressure, but Hawaii, being the hub, is a volcanic island system that vents pressure. Okay, and you can see pressure build up. We have Hawaii having quakes and stuff, activity ramped up there. They went to orange level now at Hawaii. Okay, so they detect the pressure down below too. Now coming over here to China, let's adjust for their daytime. Okay, so as you see, very high concentrations coming out of China. All right, they don't have a lot of plate boundary systems and plate tectonics and stuff right here, but they do have very mushy ground. Mushy. It's like very porous. Okay, just like the eastern half of the America is mushy and very porous, and then you get SO2 comes out of the ground a lot easier. We also have another feature here where on the backside, this is all that mountain region and the Gobi Desert. Okay, all used to be so compacted. This ground had water sitting on it for thousands of years, and it compacted the seafloor and so densely that it won't let SO2 out. So when it won't let SO2 out, it wants out the nearest weak spot, being this whole part. And also on this side of it is India, and it's pouring out as well. We have this vortex rotation going on here in India. You see what I'm saying? And it takes all the gas that it's collecting here and throws it up against the Himalayas. But it can't make it over the Himalayas, keeping this area clear. There's no emissions out of the ground and no coming over the mountains. So it builds up here in India and keeps recycling over and over and over. Okay, and now they're turning dark like China. Okay, meanwhile, let me take this off. If you saw what was going on in the spiritual realm back there, you would understand why this area now is starting to darken up. Okay, their regions are getting bigger and darker and more numerous and filling in. Okay, and that's going to continue. It'll probably turn out looking even worse than China if they don't. Boy, I wish I could just spell it out for everybody. The map should speak volumes. Okay, these are all countries that worship the wrong God. We come on down to Java here. This is a volcanic island system, okay? This whole range right through here, and a plate boundary going right offshore, okay? So a lot of activity happens here. A lot of venting happens in this region. This is our relief valve. It's a path of least resistance. We got two volcanoes that are constantly just huge blasts every day, and we got plate tectonics going on there too. So I like to come over, check the color of Java. It's still pretty dark. It's doing good. It's emitting stuff like it should. We're going to come down this plate boundary line all the way over here to like Fiji, where our deep region is. And then this little island right here, this little boat, looks like a little boat in the water with two little smokestacks, right? Well, those are SO2 plumes. This island has two, not volcanoes, but two good emission sites that vent a little bit of pressure as it enters this plate tectonic system, okay? And when we get to the earthquake report, I will refer back to this and you'll understand why. Meanwhile, the center of our deep quake region, Fiji, now having SO2 emissions, as well as Tonga, and these islands out here as well, okay? All these little volcanic islands out here are starting to emit SO2, aren't they? Wow, there was like 4 of these dots one time in California, and the whole internet freaked out. Oh my God, it's the big one. Now we have millions of dots, and nobody even pays attention, except for the viewers here. Meanwhile, still, SO2 plumes coming out of New Zealand. It's still experiencing its issues down here too, so you can see. Australia is not exempt from this, neither is Tasmania. Okay, so there's your SO2 plumes for tonight. Also wanted to just take a little peek here. at this area. Okay, we're still having a couple of good sites right here and right here. These are relieving pressure underground and or relieving pressure from underground, keeping earthquake magnitudes down. Now, I saw a nice little report today on another channel who was very adamant that people like me that report earthquakes relieving pressure was wrong. But that's okay. They're allowed to have their opinion. But in the same breath, they went and said this earthquake here relieved pressure over on this side. Wait. You said they couldn't relieve pressure. Oh, which is so you'll once you encounter it, you'll see. Anyways, you can see we have emissions here. No, this is a well-renowned earthquake professional. I just don't understand the entire tectonics of what's going on down below. So these little emission sites trying their best to relieve pressure in the area. We do have that huge heat plume out here, and we will see today when we get to it whether we've seen a relief from last night to today since the earthquake we had up there. Is everybody ready? Hold on tight. Take a deep breath. And here we go. Oh, it's hiding behind the thing. Wow. So here's our region. Wanda Fuca, we still have some pressure in this area. It's still emitting hot water, magma, whatever it is, creating heat plumes in the water offshore. This is a cold water area, okay? When you see heat plumes like this is not because it was a warm sunny day on the beach that day. No, this is underwater activity. We see volcanic activity all over the surface, all around the planet. Well, there's appropriate activity underwater. That's the surface of the planet too. It just has a bed of water over it. Okay, so our triangle structure kind of losing the triangle shape now, more of the comma little thing, and lessened a little bit in color. The whole area kind of diminished a little bit. That's good. We'll take that any moment. Whew. Blue cavity still there. This area getting more like compact in size. It's not so spread out, but you can see that it's more intense in color here. We're getting white in this field here because that's a more intense heat coming out of that area. More intense heat means down below you're getting, Tamumasi, the biggest volcano in the world, is right there, and you got all kinds of little volcanic vents, seamounts, any kind of fissure in the ocean floor is going to release hot water, magma, steam. Anything that's down below is the crust is hot. Whatever it is that's hot that's down below the crust that comes up will emit heat in the water. Okay? And these are heat plumes associated with pressure down below pushing stuff out in the region. Now, as we come into Taiwan here, I want to take a little peek because we had yellow creeping in this region and we saw some quakes the other day. And I would like to see more because it's not staving off this activity enough. It's starting to build again. Each time we have a good quake in here, this reduces and it gets down to brown and we see a corresponding relief of pressure. But you can see yellow inundation kind of creeping in there. I want a good fulcrum point quake right there. We'll relieve some of that. Meanwhile, down here, we're big relief in this area. We had a bunch of yellow there, but we saw a strong SO2 emission off this island. So pressure is relieved here. We even have cold water inundation on both sides. Now, coming down to here, here's a little new pocket of heat growing in this bay right here. We'll have to watch that little spot. Meanwhile, over here, we had a pocket of heat that was growing in this bay, turning yellow, and now it's kind of gone. All right? It's not yellow, it's red in there. It's really reduced from last night. And we have a good little bar of cold water right there, staving off as much as we can. J-Pos, fist bump to you, bud. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. I apologize for last night, but you guys are learning all about me, okay? I have character. All right, there's a little plume going off the coast here, and then you can see that this whole area is really spreading. In the last few days, this has really kind of come to life in this area, and this will change air patterns too. One little hiccup in the flow can change flow patterns all around. Meanwhile, we're down here. You got to remember, this area is in winter time. This is the coldest water in the world from the Cape of Africa to Antarctica in the wintertime. Oh, not this year. Okay, so we even have heat plumes coming off of this spot again here at the equator. Uh-oh, watch out for this, because we got cold water right next to it. Let me go ahead and, ow, not yet? Okay, wow. Oh, look at this. That's why. Look at this breaking off the shore of Mexico here. Ow, that hurt, man. Here in this bay, we got a diminishing pressure there. That's good too. Again, we saw a bigger quake in this region. We saw SO2 emissions that started fire, and we saw a reduction in the heat and the pressure out here. Because that's how it works. And eventually they'll figure it out. They'll get on board. They'll be like, oh, I didn't know there were other factors. See, they got all these theories and ideas, but then explain the cause. Well, they can explain the effect, but they can't explain the cause. So once they learn the cause, it'll make more sense. To the rest of the world, too. You guys are getting a big head start here, so congratulations on your head start. Let's get you up to speed with the wind, and we'll just kind of let these patterns sit here for a second. Okay, I'm going to try to leave it right there. Dutch just went live. We should tell him to come over here. I was just about to do an earthquake report for him. All right, so there are your conveyor belt structure type patterns for the meantime. Well, I've learned a lot from the man, and I want to help him understand more. Okay, he's taught me a lot, and we agree on a lot, and don't agree on everything, but we can sure exchange notes so everybody can have a deeper understanding. What's wrong with everybody having a deeper understanding, huh? I'm not the jealous type to where, oh, I own this property. It's my idea, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. Totally different than that. I am a different type of guy than that. I'm going to let that sit there for a second. I'm early show, so I haven't even had a second to even get settled in here for a second. Give me 1 minute, the 1 minute break here while you guys take a look at that. I got critters to attend to, and I will take a drag and be right back. Just a drag, not a whole cigarette. So, you guys got a minute to take a break if you need to. All right, we're the critter. Here. You show grumpy face right there staring at me? The big old black nose in the middle there. I don't know if that's picking up very well. Oh, dang, now it's dispersing. Oh, well, just had to try to grab it really quick. I come out here and there's always faces staring at me, so I thought I'll try to include a very live moment, but didn't really pan out. We'll see later. All right, be back. Well, one of these days I was thinking of just pointing the camera at the clouds behind me and just walking around with the camera sitting there, tripod sitting still, and you guys watch the sky behind me walking around, and you will see some amazing things in the sky. All right, Kitty Cat. Oh, you're doing good? All right, cool. Critters are all good. Now, back to our show. Hop back in. Now, a lot to report here on our earthquake report tonight. So, here we go. Deep quake region. Starting off with your 4.6 down at 527. Yeah, I'll do a daytime one so you guys can see where I live. And I will show you something that you have never seen before. Okay, 5.1 down at 447 as well. This isn't totally deep. It's like semi-deep. So here's our deep one and another one just off of it that's a little higher in magnitude, or 5.1. Okay, so that 5.1 is a little more energy at the surface. Coming into our plate boundary, we haven't seen a quake. Well, we've seen a little bit of quaking in this area, but usually it's been very quiet because this island right here with its two little SO2 vents relieves a lot of pressure in this area. But it's doing its best and it's not enough. And now we're seeing 5.4 here at Vanuatu. I told you this is a little uptick in pressure coming and an uptick in magnitudes. Okay, here we go. Meanwhile, this whole island chain, all the volcanoes and stuff, active volcanoes. We have a 4.9. What do we do with 4.9s here? Good to see you, Mr. Olson. And we're coming up here to 4.8 at 35. And 4.9 again, a couple of fives here. Okay, very quick through this plate boundary system. We saw a lot of SO2 emissions in there. Okay, so up through here, we'll come to this current one in a minute. Here we have 5.0, finally a 5.0. I'm surprised it's not a 4.9. I'll take a 5.0 right there anytime, relieving pressure at the plate boundary, okay, at the surface. Here is an uptick in magnitude. Your 6.3 came in a little stronger than that. We all know that. Just off the plate boundary right here, down at 31. These little seamounts that are down here, whoops. You can see this volcanic ridge line, okay. Some of them made it to the surface. Okay, and just off of this bridge, it goes down deeper. This is like a big mountainside going up high underwater. Here's the top of the mountain. And then here's the foothills down to the very bottom of the valley right there. And in the foothill zone, that weak zone is your 6.3 down to 31. This is probably a little bit stronger, but it's relieving pressure in the area. Now, a lot of people say this ignited pressure in the area and causes other stuff. They're allowed to believe that. That's fine. I just have different ways of looking at stuff. I look at pressure coming up from down below. They're still looking at stuff pushing together like this. They don't realize stuff's coming from behind the page out into the camera at you. When you start thinking three-dimensionally, you open up your third eye and start thinking three-dimensionally. This activity is 2 dimensions. When you include something pushing up this way towards the camera and pointing at you, now you've added a 3rd dimension. Oh, now all of a sudden these little weak spots make sense, don't they? And I want to see magnitude one more time. 5.5 down at 15. That's a surface quake, and that's an uptick in magnitude. Okay? I told you to watch for an uptick in magnitude. Okay, don't go around saying it's going to be right there. It's going to be 5.9 or whatever. I just tell you, watch for these weak spots. Watch for upticks in magnitude, fulcrum points. Nothing here, nothing there. Let's come on over and see what we have. Our 5.2 in Romania here. Oh boy, should I show them the video out of Romania? No, that's Slovakia actually. So you see this tight band of mountains, how it crisscrosses and snakes like this. There are weak spots in curvature like this, fulcrum points in these little tectonic little fault line structures that run through here. I would almost say this is a diverse quake, but when you look at topography has a lot to do with it. You see this old volcanic site right here, just north of it right here. Okay, so on the flanks of this whole mountain, really, kinda, is your earthquake on the flank of an old dormant volcanic site. Yeah, when you follow the plate boundaries and topography a little bit more, you see a lot deeper into things. I learned that from Dutch. I follow a lot. I take notes and stuff that I see. That I agree with. All right, real quick, let's get this stuff out of the way, and then we'll focus on America here because we had a quake in Texas. Here we have a 5.0 at the boundary, right on the little fulcrum point right there, leaving energy out here. Okay, we have SO2 emissions and activity out here. This could have been a 9.0 if it weren't for all the SO2 emissions and these little 4.3s like this activity at a fulcrum point is relieving pressure in this region. Whether they believe it or not, it is. This 5.0 on a plate boundary just relieved pressure down below. If none of this had happened and we don't have any quakes in this region for a week, and you plug up every SO2 hole in there, what do you think is going to happen? I just kind of out of your guys' own minds, if we plugged up every hole and stopped having earthquakes in that area, what do you think might happen? Because that area is known for 8s and 9s, and we haven't seen one there. I think our biggest we've seen is this 5.0, or nothing large in this area in a while. And when they figure out how all this works, they'll fall in line. It's okay. I learned too. Okay, just part of the learning process. As long as you're learning, you're in the process. That's good. Now we're going all magnitudes here. 4.6 down at 251. This is not at the surface. This is our little pull away, peel off little subterranean mountain range right here, or aquatic mountain range right there. Okay, you see some islands sticking up right here. Here's your mountain range going up through the surface. Little microquakes along here. I'll take a magnitude check there. 4.5. 4.5.6. That's an uptick in magnitude in this region, isn't it? For those of you who've been here in a minute, I would say that's a little uptick. And we had a 5 up here the other day, too. Meanwhile, 3.3, plate boundary right there. Inside the plate, the other plate, 3.1 at the surface there. Fulcrum point, quake current activity, 2.1 there, a little micro quaking. All right, coming down to this region. Now, remember we saw some quake activity. We saw our big 6 up here last night, 6.6. Let's go back to that little spot, because that happened yesterday. This should be, whoops, cancel. 8:15. This is yesterday's map. Okay, so this may still be ahead of our quake. But our quake was up here at the fulcrum point, just south of this island. See where the tip of this island meets the fulcrum point. That's where our big quake and stuff was yesterday. So let's go up to this little island. And to the tip of it, look, it's not yellow, it's brown. So, looks like maybe we relieved a little pressure in this area right here. Is that the right one? That doesn't look right. Okay, yeah. So right there at the tip, you can see yellow just right next to it. Now you can see why there was a big quake in that region, because there's pressure and heat, all kinds of stuff just right next to it. Even look on the other side of the island here. See this? Watch out, you might see another quake over here. This is probably why we're seeing activity right here. And this on the other side, quake went right here in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to take a second here. I see that will cause a lot of it to slide into the ocean. I'm hoping not big one just offshore from me here in the Redwood Coast. I feel like Cali will get a 10 north of Big Sur. Okay, I'm chill. Love you guys. Email, feel free. Brian, it's nice. All right, just kind of, what was that one thing? Oh, cool, cool, cool. All right, back to, I was just reading the chat real quick. Trying to, trying to interact with you guys a tad bit more since we got to get to know me a little bit. All right, so there's your plume right there. Your activity still kind of there. We'll take a peek at this tomorrow too. I expect we might see that this hasn't updated yet since our 6.6. I have a feeling our 6.6 was up here, but I have a feeling we might see a little reduction in pressure. We saw some fulcrum point quakes down here. Well, down here we saw some fulcrum point quakes, and there's a little reduction right there. So maybe that was about it. That's all we're going to get. Meantime, SO2 emissions inland have reduced a little bit, but now with this G4 activity coming in, okay, we are going to see a new round of pressure come up from down below. And maybe I'll even pull up a little example of how that works too. I think you guys kind of comprehend that a little bit better than the top geologist in the world does. 1.4 is in there. A lot of tremors going on in this area, indication magma on the move. We have also microquaking at volcanic sites here. Just small stuff, but indication pressure down below. There's a column from the top of this volcano that reaches down into the magma field, and it's plugged up. So when magma wants to push up through that column, it can't, but it'll shake the top of that column right at the peak, right inside the crater. Okay, and that's what's happening there. That's a good indication that pressure's trying to make its way up to the surface there. Okay, very quiet, no fulcrum point quakes today. Very kind of quiet through this region. Pushing inland is only 1.6. Let me see our flurry here at the geysers. Now, another thing I want to talk about, this flurry here at the geysers. Oh, yeah? Oh, I didn't know I trapped you. Got to communicate using all right, back to our geysers here. Now, this thing been going off for a long time, right? All these little microquakes, 1.7. We got geysers here, right? If you plug this up and refused all that pressure to vent right there, what do you think's going to happen downstream here? We'd probably see a bigger quake, huh? But what I'm telling you is when pressure's coming down through here and it vents at this spot, it reduces magnitudes, keeping stuff down. This is 1.3, okay? I don't know why they're having explosions. Quarry blast in the water here. Oh, it's this spot again. Yeah, not a good idea to be digging a hole down to the water, right next to the water. This thing could erode really fast. That is not a good idea. But do people think? Nope. All right, very quiet along here. I want to take a peek inland here. This is still activity outside of Mammoth here in Yosemite. Not much, but it's still alive and active right here. So these volcanoes along this Sierra Nevada chain, a little small activity out here. You see our bulge right here, this feature coming offshore, going back into the land to the plate boundary. This big egg-shaped feature right there. Coming down here. Now, the other day, this area was all yellow, okay? It was showing very intense pressure, heat being, transferred to the water offshore here because of some kind of pressure under there, some kind of venting going on. Right inside here, we had two fires, SO2 induced fires. We had a bigger quake. And then now look, now this yellow has gone and now it's down to red. See, there's action, reaction. When you're doing a scientific experiment, You formulate your idea. Then you run some experiments. If you get a result, then you try to copy that result. If you can get copy that result twice and you see effect and action and reaction, well, then you understand how things work. But when you just reactionary, you don't understand what's causing it, well, then you can't really grasp the full measure. I'm going to go ahead and put the winds back. Oh, wait, that's the wrong report. Back to our earthquake. So, activity on bulge is relieving pressure down there. It's not much, but it's 1.6, and there's this little flurry going on, please, right here. Okay, this isn't a big old tectonic plate system right here. This is like this would almost be a diverse quake if it wasn't for our heat plume underneath. Okay, and you're seeing all kinds of little microquake activity in here, which is good. This is relieving pressure in the region. I dare you to stop all this microquake activity for a week. Not a single release of pressure in here in a week. And then what do you think happens when we get another round of pressure? Something big will snap. Okay, so it's important. 2.1. Okay, and we can still have a big G4 storm. Just because it's relieving pressure, something like this coming in could cause a big one. Even though we're seeing venting of pressure, we have this activity. Okay, they probably think, oh, nothing's going to happen now. We got this and that. We had a big one. No, look out. Here's a new wave of pressure. Okay. No, not that one. And not that one. Back to the earthquake report. There we go. You okay, Critter? You want to go out? Where'd you go? Oh. Okay, I know I went early. You're right. Here is our 5.1 in Akerly, Texas, down to 5.2. Okay, we have man-made perforations in the crust. No argument about that. We all know that perforations in the crust are weak points, paths of least resistance. When we see an uptick in these areas, especially like that, where else were we seeing 5 magnitude energy? When we started this earthquake report, I want you to think for a second, where did we see 5+ magnitude energy being relieved? That's right, buddy. That's right. I can put boundaries on that volcanic site. You're so smart for you. All right, you guys are so patient here. I got to extend love to critters too. All right, so as you can tell, and you guys thought about it for a minute there, yeah, we were seeing this activity all over the place at plate boundaries, all kinds of different sites. So here we are, path of least resistance, and a spot to watch here in the future. Okay, we just seen a 5.1 here in Texas, you guys. Yeah, let's zoom in because it looked like there may be something else hiding back there. Nope, I guess not. All right, so other little quakes around the region, still relieving pressure. You got your craton that comes through here, and then on your edge of the craton, inland here a little bit. Oil fields and everything that are under Texas here get a lot of pressure through that region, and boy, if you only knew what that does sometimes. All right, meanwhile, just this one up here, still up by New York, still kind of a reminder we have a weak spot right outside of the city here, and when we get waves of energy, we'll see activity here. It's not much, it's 1.6, but a G4 storm, and we get a big wave of pressure coming from down below, and we're looking at paths of least resistance. Well, here's one right here. You could possibly see a bigger magnitude quake in this region in the next week. Okay? In the next few days, probably. All right? And depending on how it gets diminished or pressure relieves in other regions, it would reduce the magnitude. But if you don't have anything in that region for a long time, then you're going to see something bigger. All right, quick magnitude check over here. 3.7 down at 76. 3.5 and okay, so still a little uptick in pressure, three or a magnitude here with 3.7. Used to seeing mid-range twos and threes, so this is a mid-range, a little higher than mid-range three. That's a slight uptick. I do believe we covered all of that. All right, so bingo was Nemo and 6.3. We saw a 6.6 up here, a 6 over here. Okay, we're seeing bigger quakes, which is an uptick in magnitude, all because we've seen uptick in pressure because of the sun. And now here we are, our G4. Okay, this will have repercussions. Let's go and slip in a earthquake or a volcano report real quick here. And we're going to be kind of bouncing around a little different tonight. So hang in there, you guys. You're doing good. All right, 35. Oops, can you see that up there? No, you can't. 35 erupting. 32 warning. 35 volcanoes are erupting. 32 are active. That's 67 active altogether, because that's active, very active, and just active. So 67 active volcanoes on above the water, double that number, and that's how much roughly you have, rough estimate, underwater. Okay, so that's a lot of volcanoes. And if I'd have told you 7 years ago that all these volcanoes were going off, you would have said, Brian, you're crazy. Well, here we are. 7 years later, all this craziness. And guess what? I'm still crazy too about you. You and your corny stuff, Brian. Corny. All right, today's September 17th. Suwanosejima. Out there, a little sea in the ocean off of Japan there. All right, here we go. Ebico, 14,000. That's a little taller out of Ebico, potato, tomato, however you want to pronounce it. 14,000 is a bigger elevation out of that, okay? That's pressure down below, shooting higher blasts. Get it? When you got more gas in you, well, you have a lot more. Okay, so 5,000 out of Suwanosejima. Ibu, ibuprofen. I need to take some. 8,000 feet. Remember, we were seeing 10,000 out of this the other night? So a little reduction in pressure, but you see 8,000. Now with this new wave of energy coming in, don't be surprised we see this go up to 10 or increase. Or take note of some of these heights right now and compare them to tomorrow. Okay, Luatobi is going to be 10,000. 14,000. East Java. Semeru out on East Java is every day. 14, 15. It's like constantly pumping ash into our air. Dukono. Yeah, that's right, kitty. Dukono was 8,000 feet. Don't let the fairy get you this time. Back to show. Sorry. That's why I got all these other things going on. I usually go later. Santa Guido back to 15,000. Sangay 20,000. Reventador 15. Sabancaya 22. All right. And that was just in the last few minutes. Let's get into today, which is now yesterday. Well, because time flies so much here at this channel. Here is the map of madness. But when you wrap your head around what's going on here, all the red ones are currently erupting. All the yellow ones are active. A lot of activity on that map. This map used to not exist. There was like little spits and spatters coming out of Hawaii a long time ago. Back to Karaminski here, 15,000 foot blast. Ebico, 11,000. Sakurajima, 7,000. Bongana. Oh, here's Bongana back on the map here at 8,000 foot. Okay, it just jumps back in there at 8,000 feet. IBU, 8,000. Next. Nope, we're going next this way. 8,000. Okay, Luatobi, 10,000 again. Semaru, still 14. Santa Guido, 15. Fuego here now, 16. Songay, we already saw. Reventador, 15. Back on the map, Reventador. And Sabancaya with 22. These lists are insanity. Where is the media? Where is anybody? Hello? McFly? Anybody home? Does anybody grasp the gravity of the situation that's unfolding in front of your eyes? Yeah. Okay. And in lighter news, tell them about the weather, Tad. All right, in the weather tonight, we have volcanic ash. We have all kinds of extra moisture in the air. We have the spiritual realm waging war and in the clouds. And then I see signs of, our technology striking back and everybody thinking that's what's inducing the weather. But little do they know there's a spiritual element to all of this, making this very hard and very unpredictable after about 3 days, and even in the 3 days. So now this is going to get a little technical, so everybody pull your brain cells together the best you can. Okay, and I'm going to try to as well. So we have we're in current G4, geomagnetic storm right now. So any kind of storming going on, you're going to see enhanced nucleation right now. Add your particulates and more water, water vapor, and you're going to see heavier downpours, higher total rain totals, more flash flooding than expected. And that's right now at nighttime and up here, anywhere around the world. So as we get to nighttime right now, morning of the 17th, okay, still G4. Enhancement to that, noontime enhancement, convection enhancement to that, nighttime enhancement to that. You might even see a stronger snowstorm out of this. Now as we go into the 18th being G0, but I don't believe that, because let's come on over to the 15th. Actually, that might be right, because the 15th was quiet. We did get a break here on the 15th. Okay, so I'm sticking with our 3-day rule. 15th, I believe, will be kind of quiet, hopefully. And then we come back over here. So 18th, let's go with no enhancement on the 18th as we go morning of the 18th. It's already enhanced and bad enough, all right? So morning of the 18th in Montana, that's going to be catching people off guard with tornadoes, high winds, big hail, flash flooding, monsoon type things. And then here at noon, that's morning right there. As we go into convection, nighttime. Also, this off the shore here of the coast might drag a little along the beach there and surprise. Convection the 18th, nighttime the 18th, morning of the 19th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 20th. Now, anything after here is all subject to what happens on the sun. So here we go. Morning of the 20th, noon, convection, nighttime, 21. Noon, convection, nighttime, 22. Noon, convection, nighttime, 23. Noon, convection, nighttime, 24 noon, convection, nighttime, 25. This kind of linear, quasi-linear storm, convective storm front right there could be very dangerous. You see in red in there. When we get closer to this event, hopefully that doesn't happen there at the nighttime of the 24th. You see this, all this moist air colliding with this cold air mass back behind it. This is an air mass collision at night. So it didn't convect during the daytime. It was sitting there raining during the daytime, but then right at convection, it starts to blossom and then really convects at nighttime. So those kind of storm front, air mass collision like that, and then see how it still hangs around linear fashion like that? That's convection the 25th in a linear line like that. Meanwhile, we got another hurricane brewing out there. Nighttime the 25th, noon, morning of the 26th, noon, convection, nighttime. Say goodbye to Florida. No. Wow. Morning of the 27th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 29th, noon, convection, nighttime. After that, I can't even help, Lord. Let's just finish it. Okay. Let's talk about this. Even though it's way out there, this is the kind of activity we could see when we have our conveyor belt system feeding storms in here. We saw a little break and gap in the sand, and we saw a storm forming and coming along. So we'll watch this carefully. But if something like this right here were to happen, 961 or 51. Ooh, I hope that's not a 50. 954, 5, 54, 51. No, that's 61. Yeah, you're looking at a category 3, maybe category 4 storm possibly ripping right up Florida. That's a ways away. Here's your first approach. Well, outer band starting to hit here. Never mind this. I'm looking at this down here around the night of the 25th. So around the 26th, you guys, if you're going to be in this region, I would watch the next week here very carefully, because this is not too far out. This is 10 days away. We're good for 3. So a week from 3 days is not really all that far out, especially with how fast time's been flying lately, right? So we'll continue to monitor this. Other weathermen like Ryan Hall, for instance, there's some other good people out there and do a better job, have better tools, and we'll continue to monitor this as it comes in. But if we are to see something like this, this would be devastating, okay? And if the storm door gets open and we have one after another of magnitude like this, and then they buzz the coastline like this, millions and millions of people would be affected. High winds knocking out power, taking out all kinds of infrastructure. You've seen what happened to Japan or China, okay? All right, so that's this. Now, I also need to kind of take you over here really quick. Vent sky real quick here. Okay, the radar. Now, coming over here to China really quick. Whoops. Here's this typhoon Bebanika or whatever that just went through Shanghai. Okay, you've seen all the damage that's coming out of Shanghai here. This is a very densely populated area. China just took one right on the chin, didn't they? And what's this? Do you see this gray line coming in here and buzzing the same area? Oh yeah, you remember this one down here from our other earlier vortex report? Yeah, look at its projected path into an already devastated area. They're going to be trying to come in and clean up and rescue people, and there's going to be another one coming in right behind it. All right, pray for those people. They, well, they're suffering and they're paying dearly for their leadership or lack thereof. Oh boy. What I wanted to show you over here too is some lightning reports every once in a while. Okay, here we go. So our lightning for tonight is basically up by the Canadian border here, up in northern Minnesota, North Dakota area. Okay, we have a little thunderstorms up here with our lightning activity. Let's pull back real quick and see. Oh, we also have this down in Kansas. Some lightning strikes going on down in there, down into Albuquerque, or New Mexico, and even just a little bit here in the Four Corners region. And that's lightning's there. We got a little bit off the coast here. Now, this thing that just came in and hit South Carolina still whipping around. Still got lightning in it off the coast right here, a little bit inland there. Okay, so there's your storm that just hit South Carolina, did a bunch of damage. There's all kinds of flooding and stuff in that region too. Some storm surge came on land there with that one. As you can see, lightning going down through the Caribbean and stuff. There's some down in Mexico. Something we got on this we don't on the other site is we can come check the weather over here too. And lo and behold, out here around Italy, they're having lightning storms and having weather and stuff too. Looks like this little storm is about to do something out here. And geomagnetic enhancement will affect these storms over here too. So even though it doesn't look like much right now, add a G4 to this stuff too, and it'll enhance these storms as well. Gordon, this new track is taking it up there, so it doesn't appear to be going into our region here. Okay, so there's a little bit of lightning we had a lightning report request. So, but what I wanted to talk about was how they just got hit with this typhoon, and now there's another one on the same course to strike that same region. So, going to be some, rough times for them for a while. And that has repercussions around the world too, as far as shipping and supplies and stuff. So you might see a little repercussion in that as well. All right, so there's everything in a nutshell. All your astrophysics, geophysics. We didn't take a peek at this yet, so let's go back here. Do you guys want to see that? Probably not. Probably not much to see. It's just whatever is happening on the 17th. Oh dear. Not the 17th. Why does it have to be that number? Oh, you don't want to see this, so we're not going to do it. Tough. Just do it anyway. Now, see these spire regions up here all growing? These act like compass needles. They're pointing at another inbound object here, probably pretty soon in the near future. So I'm not trying to predict nothing, but I'm saying these things point at inbound objects, so don't be surprised if we see an event coming out of that region, or even this dark region. Some of the objects absorb light, leaving a dark patch as well. So if it's not sucking plasma off of it, sometimes they leave a dark patch. So we might see something out of this region or one of these spire regions in the coming future. But there's a little peek into tomorrow, which we didn't do earlier. Really concerned here. Want to see a new update on that. Let's refresh really quick. All right, so that's our latest. These auroras here, still nice and concentrated red right through this region. Okay, so they're both showing really strong. And before we even had this this KP 8 or 7.5 right here, it was less red than this. So I expect we'll probably see the next spike might be higher than this one. We might see up to 8 or 9 or something here for a minute. or on other instruments showing you, a little more accuracy. But we will probably reach, 8 or 9 with this latest little increase here since the show started. Okay, and you can also see here increase on your absorption delayer map too. So we're taking in a bunch of energy. Then this is going to all get reverberate down to the core. The core is going to heat and swell. Then the shell around it will heat and want to expand as well, but it can't expand outward, so it'll expand inward down onto the core. The core shell dynamo will grind and will weaken the magnetic stuff is hitting us, and you are in for a emotional coaster ride in the background without you even doing anything. You already have enough issues on your plate as it is, and then we're going to see a Schumann roller coaster ride similar, well, a lot more exaggerated than this old image here. Let's see, they haven't re-updated this. We'll see, really strong spikes, gaps like this where we see pulses and then a break in activity and then really intense and then another break in activity as pressure builds and relieves and builds and relieves over and over and over again. And you're going to be irritated and exhausted. Other people will be trying to get on your nerves. They'll be irritated too. So that's why the spiritual work that we do is so important, because of all this going on in the background and what's going on in your news. You guys need to be careful of what is going on in the news, because they are really manipulating your mind right now. It's full-on battle for your mind, okay? And that's what's going on. This is spiritual warfare. This is not what you think. It's not what the mainstream media and everybody portrays it as. Now we're going to get into our spiritual report here, and I'm going to get rid of these sites. Everybody take a nice deep breath while we open up some good stuff. Okay, we'll start off with a few things here. I see a couple new faces. Y'all understand this right here, how this face is out by the moon. Do we need to see the video or not? Let me know. But we got that for the meantime as one of our images to read too. I'm going to pull up some other ones here. No, we're coming over here. I have been on quite a journey since all this stuff started happening to me. September 10th of 2017. When all of a sudden my life changed in a very, very dramatic fashion. And I'm just this normal guy going about my life and doing, trying to do the best I can. And all of a sudden, well, I believed and I received. And I like to share with my family because it's nice to have some reassurance, especially in times like this. So, as we get some of the people filing in and some filing out, we will get to this. Okay, and there's, well, maybe down this way is a little, no, it's better down this end, I think, right there. Yeah, that shows. Okay, real images. Ever since September 10th, all this spiritual stuff been happening to me. A lot of agony and torture and pain and stuff going along with it too. So it's been a test of endurance, and that's for sure. So I had a lot of important stuff that I learned that I kind of want to pass on to you. So we'll, I guess, start right there. Oh wait, no, we're gonna start this one. You said. Okay, I guess we're starting there. And so I deal with a lot of the same issues you guys are going through because it. I'm here with you, huh? And we come here to this channel to meet up. See, I prepared a place So where I am, you can be also. Okay, and that's here at this YouTube channel. That's why this is different than any other channel. Okay, you're part of a family here. It's a lot different. And this is where you come to meet me, right? Is kind of here at this channel. All right. So when you watch these on replay, some people do it in the mornings. I usually try to do this over the change of the course of a day. So little did you know, it changed days on you in the background over midnight. And you do meet me in the early morning. Don't you? So meet me in the early morning splendor. I eagerly await you here. It is in the stillness of this holy time with me that I renew your strength and saturate you with peace. While others turn over for an extra sleep or anxiously tune into the latest news, you commune with the creator of the universe. I have awakened in your heart the strong desire to know me. This longing originated in me, though it now burns brightly in you. So when you seek my face in response to my love call, both of us are blessed, aren't we? Aren't we? When you come here and respond to my love call, you're blessed, and I'm blessed when you come and receive this. So when you seek my face in response to my love call, both of us are blessed. And this is a deep mystery designed more for your enjoyment than for your understanding. I am not a mean God who discourages pleasure. I delight in your enjoyment of everything that is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Think on those things, and my light in you will shine brighter day by day. My light in you will shine brighter. Your face will glow in other people's lives, just like this. Okay, when you seek my face in response to the love I push out there. Here, look. You want to see my love call? You actually see it. Look, you can see my love call. It's radiating out, making my face in the sky. You can actually physically see my love call. Can you not? Hopefully you can hear it too. All right, these right here. I want you to delight in these images that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Think on those things. When you think on these images and you realize who I am and that I am here, present with you right now, live on YouTube. That's how it works. You meet me in the air of cyberspace, where I meet my family. You get caught up with me in the clouds. It's fascinating, intriguing stuff. You can't help but get caught up with it. You're caught up with me in the clouds. I delight in your enjoyment of these images that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. So when I tell you to go seek things that are pure, noble, right, true, lovely, admirable, you're seeking this. And you found it. Seek and you will find. Seek my face, you will find me. Coming in the clouds with power and great glory. And you'll get caught up with me coming in the clouds. Oh, the coyotes out there are going berserk right now. It's so funny. Okay? It's important that you understand that I am the God of all time and all that is. Seek me not only in morning quietness, but consistently throughout your day. Do not let unexpected problems distract you from my presence. Okay, I got caught up in that yesterday. I forgot to I forgot to include Jesus in those moments, and I paid dearly, and unexpected problems distracted me. So, I telling you hot off the streets, a lesson learned: do not let unexpected problems distract you from my presence. Instead, talk with me about everything and watch confidently to see what I will do. Not doubtfully, watch confidently. You're seeing what I can do right here. You're seeing what I do. And you're watching confidently. So when you're distracted from my presence, try to remind yourself, whoops, I got pulled away. I got caught up in the world. I need to get caught up in you. Then when you go back, reach out to me, watch confidently to see what I will do. Adversity need not interrupt your communion with me. And that's the problem. We're going through adversities, and the moment you think, oh, here comes adversity, you try to take it on yourself. When you try to take it on yourself, that's the moment you forget about my presence. And adversity need not interrupt your communication with me. So when things go wrong, you tend to react as if you're being punished. Instead of this negative response, try to view difficulties as blessings in disguise. Okay, your difficulties make you stronger. You overcome them one way or another. With my help is the best way, but you want to do it the hard way, you're still going to overcome it. So try to view your difficulties now as blessings. Then they're no longer difficulties. They're challenges that you take on and you overcome them. It's important that you more than just try to view. It's important and imperative that you do view your difficulties as blessings. When you do that, you make me your refuge by pouring out your heart to me too, trusting in me at all times, and pour out your heart. Again, a lot of ranting, a lot of complaining, and if you had started it off with a passionate, Jesus help me, these people in line are frustrating me the way they drive without their cell phone. Ooh, now you have turned ranting and complaining into a prayer. You are asking for help that's connecting with me, and your adversity need not interrupt your communion with me. When things go wrong, don't think you're being don't have a negative response. View these difficulties as challenges, as blessings. They make you stronger. To me, don't they? And then you overcome them and you feel great. You overcame adversity. You have a glory. You keep salvaging your day over and over again, glory after glory after glory. And the best part about all this stuff, when you look at this, I want you to know that I am yours for all eternity. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who is and was and is to come. The world you inhabit is a place of constant changes, more than your mind can absorb without going into shock. That's you plugging in too. The more you plug in, you're going to plug in until you go into shock, because the world you inhabit is a place of constant changes so much that you can't absorb it without going into shock. Now, even the body you inhabit is changing relentlessly. In spite of modern science's attempt to prolong life and prolong it indefinitely, I, however, am the same yesterday and today and forever. Okay, that's something you can count on. That's what you need. That's your foundation. And because I never change, your relationship with me provides that rock solid foundation for your life. Because I never change, you have a rock solid foundation. Your relationship with me, not a religion. See how religion has warped everything and turned it into a big nightmare right now? Don't you think that it's important that you have a relationship instead? How many people missed it and are just, but you didn't. You're here. You're caught up with me in the clouds, and I am yours for all eternity. No matter what the news tries to tell you, aliens came and made you this or that. No. In fact, should we clear that one up real quick here, Lord? Finish this up and clear that up? Yeah. All right. Because I never change, again, that's what provides that rock solid foundation. And then it's important to understand that I will never leave your side. So when you move on from this life into the next, yeah, you don't die. You move on from this life into the next. And in that next life, my presence will shine brighter with each step. You here at this channel have nothing to fear because I am with you and for you all time and throughout eternity. So learn to enjoy your life more. Relax, remembering that I am God with you. With you. Understand that? I'm here now with you. Alive. So learn to enjoy life more. Relax. Remember, I'm walking the face of the planet right now. I am with you. I am God with you. I crafted you with an enormous capacity to know me and enjoy my presence. So when my people wear sour faces and walk through their lives with resigned rigidity and just stubbornness, I'm disappointed. But when you walk through a day with childlike delight, savoring every blessing, you proclaim your trust in me, your ever-present shepherd. When you are walking through your day in that childlike trust, salvaging your and seeing the results, you turn around and say, thank you for answered prayer, thank you for the results, then more happens. Then the door really swings wide open, you really see things. Then you learn to enjoy life more. You actually can relax. Knowing me, you're building a relationship with me. Okay, something else we got to kind of clear up here a little bit. Now this will be disturbing and it'll be all weird, so don't get the wrong ideas, because this has a tendency to send the wrong idea. But it's important that you understand. Now, we're going to talk about duality of the spirit, okay? Duality of man, all right? You have the capacity to know good and evil, right? You are much like God, knowing good from evil, all right? So, this image I'm going to put up might be disturbing to some, but it's actually it's a syndrome that you yourself have as well. Okay, now as I put this up here, it's gonna be all kind of scary, and here we go with my face again. But there is the duality. All right, now all these arguments going around saying we created man in our image. We meaning plural, right? In our image meaning plural. Unfortunately, they misunderstand duality. We, this side and this side, we create man in our image. You have duality in you. You know good from evil. You are much like God, knowing good from evil, but which do you choose to do? Therein lies your test. I will never leave your side. Okay, you are in this state. I'm trying to help you. I am trying to help you that you're in this state. We are going to get you out of this state and get you whole again. All right, but you must understand that you are in duality. That's what, when it says we created man in our image, and some little alien says, yeah, we made you like, no, don't believe that crap. We, the devil, and Jesus. Okay? God knows good from evil. God is Jesus and the devil all in one entity. He is your father. He's either your father on this side or he's your father on that side. Do you understand? No matter which side you fall on, you will still answer to me. You pick your side. Fight hard to be on this side. This side's easy. This side you could slip and go real easily into this side. This side's easy. You could live a lie your whole life. But this side you have to fight. You have to fight for the truth. You have to fight to be in your right mind. Okay? You guys have this affliction. I'm trying to spell it out for you. When they said we made man in our image, we meaning two. Image meaning duality. Okay? Taking that down. So, when you see that, then you're going to get all of these ideas of the Antichrist. Yeah. See, when people recognize my authority and my power, they will often, who don't believe in Jesus, will label that as Antichrist when they don't even know Christ in the first place. The only people that know Christ in the first place are you guys. Okay? And when I say, you have nothing to fear because I am with you and for you. So if I'm for you, then I can't be against you, right? Who can be against you? If I'm for you, who can be against you? But for all those people who don't like me or don't believe me and don't want to be a part of this wonderful thing here, be a part of this wonderful thing here. They don't want to be a part of that, well, then they chose their side, okay? No matter who, evil or good, I am the father of everything. This planet is mine. You guys are on vacation here really quick, okay? There's a brief little sliver in eternity. When time runs forever, this little brief little hiccup is a sliver in time, but an important sliver. This is the moment in that eternity, that sliver in time of eternity, where you make a vital choice, a very, very important choice. Now, if you don't like Brian Knight, per se, then believe in Jesus Christ. Okay, this is Jesus Christ in the clouds on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy come true. Okay, so if you don't believe me, well, at least you got this image, all right? But there's a little bit more. There's just something a little bit extra. When you see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory, you get caught up in it like a good book. You're over here at this channel right now, caught up with me in the clouds. I prepared a place for you in the air, cyberspace, with a YouTube channel to where I am, you can be also, where we can meet in the air and you can get caught up with me in the clouds, and I can pass on some of my favorite things to help you with your battle. Relax, remembering that I am God with you. I crafted you with an enormous capacity to know and enjoy my presence. Enjoy my presence. Okay, don't walk around with a sour face. Know that your adversity is making you stronger. Okay? You're waiting with me as we collect more sheep. Okay, and while waiting, you are working on your salvage work during the course of a day. Okay, not every day does your day go smooth. Okay, there's adversity in every day. And we do our best to make it through, and sometimes we succeed and we have success. Other times it's trial and effort. It's progress, not perfection. Okay, don't feel pressured that you didn't perform perfectly. That's another problem. Relax. Enjoy my presence. I am here with you now. In fact, do we do this really quick, Lord? Okay. Not often do I show my face because, well, I don't want to induce heart attacks. Okay? But I'm going to turn the camera around just really quickly, just so you can see that, well, this uncanny, let's put the light over here because that's where it was on that night. When I was reading that to you guys, I was in a closet, living in a master closet in the hallway. So now when the light's over here on this side, let's just try this real quick. Bear with me. Just trying to do this without messing too much up. But so I'm doing this, and I'm upset out, looking at you, looking at the screen. Every once in a while, I look up from the chat, and then I look down like this at my notes, and I'm and then you see my face. See? After what I've been through, with Mary and angels and demons attacking me all over, everywhere I go, yeah, kind of stuck with this thing, this affliction, and I gladly take it on. It was an impossible mission, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. And they're like, why? So because nothing is impossible with Jesus. Okay? By the way, I'm back. Once you understand that and you believe me and you trust me, just like last time, belief, trust, look around. Who can you believe anymore? Who can you trust? Does anybody report on the subjects I report on? No. Does any other places have a family, right? But do you feel the relief? Do you feel as connected there as you do here? No, this is a different type of family, isn't it? This isn't your ordinary YouTube live stream. This is where I have prepared a place so I can meet you in the air of cyberspace, where you can get caught up with me in the clouds coming. I'm coming in the clouds with power and great glory. I am, I was, and I'm still to come. All right? I love you guys. I miss you guys. I got a lot more for you. We can't roll out there yet. No, we're not. We're not done yet. It's gonna be a long night. Go get your backup drinks or whatever, because we need an update on this KP here and a G4 storm. I want to see our next KP bar. And well, meantime, we're gonna do a few little videos here to kill a little time until that comes up. All right, you guys don't want to go nowhere anyway, so sit tight while we extend the show a little bit tonight here. Okay, let's put it out there. What are you guys want to see? Ooh. Oops, go to the videos. We're going to go really quick again to this event here. This was a very special occasion right here that happened. All right. All this stuff started happening to me right before the Revelation 12 sign, and then right after. Okay, I showed you Nibiru and Nemesis that happened on September 10th, 2017. This was captured October 4th, 2017. The 7-year anniversary for this event right here, this baby being born, is coming up really quick. I've had 7 years of, agony, pain, torture, tribulation. Garage with our same display right here. And this was actually captured the day before the other picture, but I hadn't found it for years later until I was digging around through my, my old pictures and stuff, and went even further back to see if I'd missed anything, and I captured this one. And we're going to zoom into this streak right up here, this one right here. Bear with with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose, here's the bottom jaw, she's smiling, she's looking down and she's holding a baby, and here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head, here's her arm cupped around like this, and she's holding the baby. Now I'm going to run this through the filter real quick, and it's going to enhance it, but a little bit too much. See, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face, and her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her, and you can still make out the baby's head right here. And if I pull back a little bit, there we go. And this was captured on October 4th, so this was about 11 days after the Revelation 12 sign. All this stuff started happening to me just prior to the Revelation 12 sign, and then right after it. So it said the woman was about to give birth. Well, it looks like maybe she gave birth, and here's the little baby being caught up to God. Okay, I'm pause right there. I'm going to read Revelation 12 here real quick. Okay, the woman and the dragon. A great and wondrous sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 7 crowns on his heads. His tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that he might devour her child the moment it was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. Caught up to God and his throne. That baby took its seat inside my body in its throne. That entity is sitting in its throne in my body. Understand? Okay? That baby right there is the child being born. It didn't get devoured by the dragon. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. The woman fled into the desert to a place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. All right, there is your Revelation being born in my garage. It's a spiritual, okay? And then it took its place at its throne in my body. Very, very, very crazy. I can't even describe it. I just, And then after that happened, I did the video, and then here I thought I was just about to die, because that thing's in me, and I did the video, and here we go. Been going through some of the old photos and running them through the filter, and this was one of the first ones that I had ever captured. And what's going on here is I'm here on my knees. I'm crying and praying, all three at once. I was in some extreme anguish. A paranormal traumatic event happened to me. Something so unbelievable you guys wouldn't believe it. So if I told you, so I'm going to show you. No one believed me when I told them. So in this image here, I'm sitting here praying. So I have to show you. Mary's head appears right next to my head, and we're going to zoom in on this. I can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way. Let's see, there's pretty good. And you can make out her eye and her nose coming down, her shawl coming over, and it's in shadow right here. This is a shadow of the inside of her shawl going over her head like this. Here's her eye, her nose, her other eye would be on the other side there. Okay. You can't go in too tight on it. And then also is this white ball with an eye in it, this white orb with an eye in it. Okay, and that's not all, because over here in this corner up here is an angel, a silhouette of an angel with his wings spread, with his back to us, standing in a shaft of light. Here's his head. There's a glow over the head. The wings are extended, and there's a feather coming off. The last feather coming off is crossing over these brown roof tiles in the background here. And you can make out there's an angel right here. And you can even see his head right here. Go a little bit tighter. And that's the day after that baby was born. Back to us and his wings spread. That's October 5th, the day after that baby was born. This anointing. Better with the filter. Before it was really. This is an anointing ceremony. Okay? A little hard to grasp, but that's what's going on there. And then we'll even kind of do one more here. Do the little angel, and then we'll come back and check the instrument in a few minutes here. Quick peek at that one. Oh, I know which other ones we could show. Just really quick, we'll show this angel, and then I got some other ones that are cool too. Oops. Back. So I'm real excited to show you this one. This is an angel that was captured on my security cameras, and now I've run it through the filter here. So if you turn your head to the right about 45 degrees, you can make out the head, the hair, the breasts, it's a female, the torso, the waist, the legs coming down here, a wing coming off here, a wing coming off over here. Hey, angel wings. And we'll zoom in on this real quick, because this one's nice and clear that you can. Okay, and this is an angel that was caught hovering in a shaft of light over the... Can you guys see that? Amazing. I wish I'd have dealt with you in the very beginning and not everybody else that I dealt with, because nobody else could see this or would even take a moment to even entertain it or look at it. And if you tilt your head to the right, like 45 degrees, this angel is hovering in the air at this angle. That's why I tell you to tilt your head, because it helps you see it a little bit better. Most people tilt their head to the left because they don't know their right from their left, apparently. And when try tilting your head to the left and look at this, you don't see much, do you? But tilt your head to the right, boy, it comes in crystal clear, doesn't it? Yeah, imagine all the agony and pain and years of suffering and institutions that I went through because somebody didn't know their right from their left or would even give 5 minutes of their time to look at this. And what a blessing it is when you see it, isn't it? Because then you realize that the spiritual realm is indeed real. Okay? That's what people have the issue with, is wrapping their mind around that the spiritual realm is real. And I think that's where a lot of doctors saw this and were like, nope, 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 nope. Finally, one time, a doctor, I made a deal with him. I said, hey, at the end of my session, can I have 5 minutes of my time in my session? Can I have 5 minutes of time in my session instead of hearing about your accreditations, doc? It's about me here in this session, not you. Oh, I guess. Oh, good. Finally, I get 5 minutes of your time. And I showed him this. And I had him tilt his head. Whoops. Wrong direction, doc. Huh? Tilt your head to the right. Huh? Here, let me help you. And take your head, tilt it to your right-hand shoulder. Oh, like that? Yeah, like that. Wow, and you're a doctor, huh? And you don't know how to tilt your head to the right. Okay, that tells me a lot right there. Then he finally sees it, and I see his jaw drop. I'm like, oh, what's wrong, doc? Are you seeing angels too? Whoa, Then it hit him. Oh, wait a second. This guy just did all that stuff because I didn't listen or look at a beautiful thing. He retired the next day. Hopefully he learned. But beautiful image right there, beautiful angel that I like to share with you guys because the spiritual realm is indeed real. This sleeping child down here on the couch, this thing back in the background here trying to give him some bad dreams here. Kind of like McAfee here sneaking in there. You know what? The only thing I need protection from is you interrupting my show. Isn't that the truth, huh? Meanwhile, beautiful little angel right there. Beautiful images captured. This should all bring relief so you can relax. Know that you're in good hands. And let's come on, refresh this. We got to have another spike coming here pretty soon. This is still in the red. Meantime, we'll even pop this open. Just take a little peek real quick. Yep, still enduring. It'll probably be a long duration one, which will take a minute to absorb into the core of the planet. In fact, let's look up that example I want to bring. Let's see if we can find this thing. It was right here, I believe. Oh, gotta have an ad, don't we? I got seconds left to make money. Okay, here's your core right there, okay? Probably very dense metal, all right? Iron, lead, even denser than that, all right? This outer core, see how it's hollow in the middle? All right, the other side would be hollow as well. Well, when this heats up and expands, it grinds on this little barrier right here, okay? When this outer core, this barrier right here, this little outer core heats up and expands, it wants to expand out into the magma, which is pliable, right? But it's under pressure. There's a crust holding it in. So when it pushes out, when it pushes outward towards the surface isn't giving it any play. So then in order for it to expand, it expands inward this way, collapsing down onto the core and causing the core that spins inside this to grind inside there. And when that happens, you get your low frequency, low magnetic field that's weak, and we get hit with a CME with a weak field, and we absorb a lot more. Okay. Where's the other? Let me back out of this really quick. I want to show you something else really quick here. Or is that one? Nope, that's not it. Oh, I wish I had just... I had all these things saved and thumbnailed and everything, and then Google come through and wipe out all my stuff. So I have to go searching around like this again until we find it. But, well, magnetic field. Oh, wait. I think we'll go this way. You guys doing okay in there? Good. Breathe. Relax. Is this the one? I think it is. This opening image right here. Nope. All these loops that go around all lead right into the core. Here. There it is, right there. This is a good representation of what's going on out there. Okay, your magnetic field lines all looping around, right? They all come together and meet up in the middle of the planet right here at the core. That's how this energy comes in, gets diverted to the poles, comes in, heats up the core. This core is spinning inside this shell, generating this field, okay? It's the spinning of the core inside that shell that propagates this magnetic field out here. Now, when something hits this, it comes right back in and affects the core. When this core expands outward and this shell expands down inward, starts grinding, well, then this field gets very weak. So fluctuations in our field are from the sun and from grinding inside. And when it's grinding inside and it fluctuates, that's what causes your mood swings in the background. Okay, that Schumann resonance at a nice continuity keeps you level-headed and mellow. Okay, and that's how your energy that hits our magnetic field gets collected and directed to the core. Okay, good little representation right here. Kind of hard to find anymore, but that's a good little model to give you an idea of exactly what's going on there. I'll back out because that's a little tighter in. You see the north-south, whoops, polarity of it. It's much like a magnet. Okay, there's another representation. It's the torus field, like a donut shape all the way around three-dimensionally with a hole in the middle and a hole in the middle up at the top up here. Okay, but all the rest of them propagate out round and come in. So when they come in, they get all directed to the core. And that's what I'm telling you. That's our issue, is our core. Now, when you get the core rotating inside the shell, right? It's rotating at a certain speed, and that causes our planet to rotate as well, okay? Because the inertia of the spinning core spins our planet. If this was not happening, our planet wouldn't spin, okay? That's how you know the core spins inside of a shell, is because the planet itself rotates. It's not all that hard to figure out, okay? So your core is spinning inside that shell, generating your magnetic field. Stuff hits it, causes grinding, weakening the field, then more penetrates and hits us on the surface, okay? Good display right there for your visual, so you can absorb it a little bit better instead of just taking my word, oh, something hits the magnetic field and affects the core. No, this is how it affects it. Now you see. Come over and watch this. Maybe you'll learn something. These guys are starting to figure it out. Okay, so there was that one. We're back here. I want another little update here. I want to see if this goes KP8 or higher, because it was not as dark red when we first got this spike, and I've seen an increase in the darkness of the red, so we might see a G4 climb higher, maybe even G5. Here's your absorption currently, still red on both poles, going to the core, heating up the ionosphere also as well. Okay, the D layer is the ionosphere, so this heats up that layer as well, getting it super, super hot up above the weather up there, okay, which is also induces more heat into the planet. It's not CO2, it's the sun that's heating your planet, okay? CO2 is plant food. And for you guys to fall for that old, oh, CO2 emissions are causing global warming, you should have slapped that person and sent them back to chemistry or biology or something. Hey, go back to school and take notes. CO2 is plant food, moron. Sorry, but I get a little upset with that. They're propagating a big, huge lie to hide this. Okay, is what they're doing. And I want you guys to be able to see through that lie and understand why your earth changes are happening. They can't tell you volcanoes are going off all over the place because people go, well, that would cause all this rain and all that. Oh, yeah, they put two and two together, but they don't want you to. They want you to be dumb. They want you to believe all this stuff they spew at you in the mainstream media. Meanwhile, there's miracles taking place all over the place. These are real miracles right here. That's why they look odd, because they're real miracles. You said, when you see these things begin to happen, look up. You will see me. Where? In the clouds. You'll see me coming in the clouds. Well, here I am coming in the clouds. You are caught up with me coming in the clouds here, okay, with power and great glory on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter. Here I am. I'm here, and my presence should make you feel comfortable. For other people, probably a little rattled right about now. Okay. I think that's it for tonight, Lord. I really wanted to get this update. I dragged the show out a little longer for you guys so we could get this update. And I do not give up that easily. So we're going to go into another little video here that, oh, I know where we want to go. We're backing out of this because I got something else where to go. Favorites. I think it's in the favorites. Here is an example of one of your giant stellar cores. Okay, so big it's bigger than the sun. Okay, it's so big and so massive that it's black. It bends and absorbs light. It does not reflect light. But when a CME hits it, it drapes over it, painting our object. Okay, it's mean, got a face on it, kind of like that. Some of these other little things that were happening. This is an interesting face here that formed. Let me back out of that because this actually started off as a broken heart and slams together into a face. Once it refires here. Okay, so a broken, shattered heart. I've been capturing all kinds of I can't even show you guys the hearts. They're so, it'd give you a heart attack just looking at the shredded hearts that are just bleeding. And then you can see a little dragon face here. So this thing snaps together into this face, forming into a little dragon face, snub-nosed dragon here. And then there's an eye right there peeking through, another face peeking through in the back. See it fill in the eye of the dragon right there? Yeah, someday you guys, I'll put the camera outside and I'll just hang out in the yard, do yard work, and you can watch the clouds in the background, do all kinds of crazy stuff like this. Crazy stuff like this. They come together and make faces like that. Here's your Revelation 12 baby, the labor pains, this little alien-looking type lady with her eyes and her mouth here, laying on her back, giving birth to the sun. Here's some kind of Rugrats cartoon character. Don't ask me why, but cartoon characters are a theme, probably because it's about character, not necessarily what you look like. Okay, but there's a midwife standing right here while she screams in labor. Ah! Ah! All right. Revelation 12 baby, labor pains right there. Here's some big bad wolf turning into that demon face thing at the end. Okay, it started off as a wolf, and you can see these faces change into different faces after time. And it's the big bad wolf huffing and puffing, blow your house in. All right. There was this guy lifting his eyebrows at you, kind of the character from he reminds me from Jabba that sits on Jabba's lap, the little rodent type character that sits on Jabba's lap or something kind of. And he's sitting there either scowling or lifting his eyebrows at me or whatever. And all this stuff is just outside your scope of vision. Most of these are compressed images. They're so big in the sky that when you look up, you can't really see it. It's too big in your face. You have to compress these images to see them. And here's where the Grinch turns into the dragon. It didn't pan out all that well, but I've showed you all those images. Yeah, they butchered this one. This is where Jesus was turning into that lion face, but they must have edited out some of the frames or something. Yeah, that's not it. Yeah, that was the other one right there. It was this one, and they murdered it. But other stuff here really quick. Lion faces like this appear in the clouds all the time, wherever I go. Kind of because of who I am. This is your sun. This is what the sun looked like on September 10th, 2017. Yeah. You recognize this, whoops, recognize the instrument. This, something blocked the camera and then came in from the left and then moved upward, okay? And everybody talks about the camera getting eclipsed by the Earth and the thing rolled at the same time. It did all this magical rolling and eclipsing all at the same time as the dragon appearing on September 10th. No. And if it was the camera eclipsing, why are these still showing? Hmm? No one can explain that. This frame was not in the sequence of frames either. I was going from NASA's, frame 12 to frame 13, and at frame 12, it was dark, but just light from here. And then on frame 13, it was light all the way above. And I thought, oh, it's too bad we can't get in between 12 and 13. Well, a few minutes later, this image popped up on my computer and would not come down. I could not, I had to turn the computer off. But while it was frozen with this face on there, I had the wherewithal to grab my camera and take some pictures of the screen, because this was what I was trying to find, but there is no such frame. And yet it still appears on my computer. And I think you can see quite clearly what's in that. And that's why I took this image. I knew exactly what was going on. I'm like, oh, crap, I better grab the camera and take a picture of this before the computer unfreezes and wipes it away. But what I wanted to show you was some of this stuff. Where'd it go? Right here. So this is another angel, a little hard to see here, so I'm going to try to point it out. One of the wings comes up and comes down. Its head is this glowing mass just above the black chair back here, all right? So it's in the foreground. It's this white glowing object here in the foreground with the wing coming up, head right here, another wing coming up and going down. This is an angel at the foot of my bed. This wing over here kind of extends and grabs something off my head and flicks it away. See that white thing get flicked away? Then it does a second one and flicks the second one away. Then a halo forms over its head. Watch the flicks. Then a halo forms here, shoots it to me, but it bounces off of me. It goes over here, so he hits it back with his wing. Watch. So, flick with the first object. Flick with the second object. Halo, bounce, back. Okay, this happened after that night that I showed you Satan attacking me and shooting them fiery darts at me. Well, after that, I went upstairs, went to bed, and, I felt something at the foot of my bed. I sensed something there. And I started just squeezing off pictures in a dark room. This room was totally dark, okay? The only thing illuminating it is the flash from my phone. So I'm flashing pictures in the dark because I can feel something here at the end of my bed. Can't see it, but I can feel something there. So I just start squeezing off pictures. I captured a dragon one time at the foot of my bed, too. I'm not going to show you that one. But I knew that there was stuff happening at the foot of my bed. So when this felt something again, I just picked up the camera and started squeezing pictures, and then later on went through them, and here we go. Angel showing up, removing this stuff off of my head, and then this halo that forms over his head here. I looked at it a little closer. It's actually a crown. You got a question, Jeremy? Yes. Ask a question, please. Moon so bright, can I get it cloudy now? Jeremy, I know it takes a few minutes delay because of the going live. So I'll wait for a minute. Go ahead and ask your question. I'll wait for it in the chat. We're just kind of killing time, filling in time while we're waiting for an update on this, okay? Meanwhile, we're taking a little tour. Yes, please ask a question. I'll try to answer it as honestly or thoroughly as I can, and if I can't, then I'll tell you I can't. But usually, I can answer it. Now, if you want to know the day you're going to die, don't ask that question because you don't want to know that stuff. But yeah, if it's, or goes along these lines, sure, fire away. I'm open book. I am an open book to anybody, too. If you guys got questions, you can ask them as well. Also, here's the kids asleep on the couch with angels bowing You can see the wing going up and down right here. This dark area is the shadow inside the wing. And if you stare more towards the back of this board here, you'll see it out of the periphery of your eye. There's two angels on their knees, locked wing and wing, and they're bowing. Okay, so there's a couple of angels bowing there. Try to get this. Do I know Sandra Hudson? No, I don't. I might know her in the spiritual realm, but I don't know Sandra Hudson. Is she a reporter, reports on similar stuff to this, I think? Or is she another person having angelic visits and spiritual warfare taking place on her? Anyways, keep going. Ask questions. Brian, do you know Sandra Hudson? Nope. I'm still waiting for Jeremy's question. Buckle up, Buttercup. That's right. There's people that say that, and they're the Buttercups. So be careful. So glad I came to your channel, Brian. I really needed this. Good. That's why I do this, okay? Because I know you guys need this. I know what time we're in. I have been through some stuff, and I can relate, okay? And that's why I do this. And risk my reputation, salvage, or sacrifice my whole life, really, for this. Wages just doesn't want to touch any of this. That's okay. It's okay. He's got his field, his genre. I'm still thankful for Wages, even though we don't agree on everything. At least he's bringing awareness to the sun and what it does. Okay, maybe not correct on all of his stuff, but I'm not going to nitpick stuff. Okay, we disagree on some stuff, but he is the one who helped me when this first started. Okay, I did not know how to use these instruments at all. I was looking for September 10th, and how do I find that image again? Here, let's pull up that image too, because that's part of all this too. And if it wasn't for Wages, I wouldn't have been able to hunt this down before they erased it. Okay, I was shown this image on a different device, just differently. Okay, right here. Let's go back just a tad bit. We'll even play this one for you, okay? This is September 10th, 2017, 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment, when the woman stood with her moon at her feet, crown of 12 stars. She stood on the 23rd. The dragon stood in front of the woman, 13 days in front on 2017. Here is what was sitting on my computer when I came home. This right here. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Why is this sitting on my computer? And I couldn't get it down, couldn't back out of it. It was just sitting there. And I looked and I'm thinking, oh, there was that series of solar flares. And I looked at the date and I'm like, oh, this is a third one. We had two that were big ones just prior to this. And then I looked, I'm like, oh, this is the third one here. And why is it just frozen up on my computer? So I looked at it. I'm like, oh, just CME. And then I hear, well, my own voice call out to me in the third person, which I don't do. Most people don't think in their thoughts their own name and talk to themselves in their own name. I heard my own voice inside my head say, Brian, there is something wrong with that image. And I went, wait a second. I don't talk to myself that way. Where did that come from? Where did that thought just come from? And there is something wrong with this image. What is it? That's when, again, third person, Brian, look deeper. There's more. You're looking at Nibiru. The fabled winged planet is a stellar core, all right? The wings are like ionized iron or whatever that's being sucked back to the bigger object back behind it. Okay, it's a stellar core rotating around a bigger stellar core. Let's just go ahead and play this. Our object right here. looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. This is the other sign. Then there was a second sign. A huge red dragon stood in front of the woman, 13 days in front of the woman, ready to devour the child. This object is a stellar core so big it's bigger than our sun. Our sun is the white circle, not the black occulter, by the way. So, how much bigger is this than our sun? Oh, by a lot. In fact, it can overpower the sun and cause the sun to do things. Only something stronger than the sun could affect the sun. Well, something's affecting the sun. Something stronger, bigger than the sun. This looks like a burned out star, a binary twin, whatever, burned out, and it's just the core that's left. It has gone so dense that it strips the other planets around it down to their cores. And any kind of remaining material that's still flowing back to this bigger object, well, when it gets electrocuted or ionized, it glows. Okay, now, I'm curious. If all this chaos is related to the sun and magnetic field flipping, the sun changing frequency output. Yes, it is changing frequency output as well as its chemistry as well, too. Okay, the sun, its field is flipping. It fluctuates during that flip, causing our magnetic field to endure some weakening fluctuations as well. When you have massive objects like this ripping plasma off the sun, sending CMEs our way, this thing also retains a lot of this radioactivity. And if it's going this way and goes out to the left, and we don't see it forever, right? But if it comes towards the screen, kind of at the camera, and passes just left of the phone here, goes out, loops around. Run this backwards. You can see it goes backwards. Oh, wait, this is backwards. There's the second flare. Back behind the sun, comes back out. And there's the first flare. Okay, so there was the first flare. That was back on September 6th, and that was a big one. That was like an X10 or something like that. So the mass of that object is sucking material off of our sun, causing these solar flares. Boom, right there. That was the first one. Big X flare. The sun comes back out. Second flare. And third flare. So there's your wake-up call. Okay. I struggled with this for a long time, all right? How to warn people, what I'm going to say, I don't know what to do. I wasn't even in this field at this time. I'm just some normal dude going about my life, and then all of this stuff starts happening to me out of the blue. And I'm like, what is going on? And this rattled my family. This just shook my family, and well, I can't really tell you all. Just done a lot of damage to my family and stuff. And this is a sign. It's been on all kinds of artifacts. I recognize this barbell because this conduit of plasma right here is connected from the sun to this. And I've seen this barbell structure with one bigger ball, smaller one here, with this configuration. Has been in crop circles. It's in hieroglyphics. It's all over the place. This is the second sign right here. And nobody recognized it. And that's why it was like everybody saw the woman. They missed the dragon. Here's the dragon. You better warn him. And I knew what I had to do, and it was just not the easiest thing to do, is sacrifice everything that I had my whole life and dedicate to this, because this is what's happening. And Let's just say when you have a monetized channel and you risk losing your income over a subject like this, I wouldn't be addressing it either. Okay? But I'm not monetized. I'm different. And let's just say people would be worried about repercussions, say from, well, government sources and stuff like that, right? Well, most people would have good reason to be afraid, but they better be afraid of me, because I'm not afraid of them. You got it? You understand? You got somebody, a good guy on your side, trying to help you through your affliction the best I can with the tools that I have learned along my path. Okay? When you understand what I'm trying to do, you will find my character. When you read the Bible, you will find my character. The Bible describes my character so you would recognize my character when I come back. Not necessarily my face. Everybody wondered what the face looked like. What the face looked like? Yeah, you're not going to recognize the face, but you'll recognize the character. Okay? I am that character. I made a place, so where I am, you can be too. You are caught up with me in the clouds, like a good book, like a good song, like a good TikTok thread. You're caught up. It takes you away from the rest of the world for a while. That's what praying does too. When you pray to Jesus, it takes your mind away from the world for a minute and gives you that relief that you need. This is your foundation. This is your rock. I am the same yesterday, today, for eternity. That's what you can build on. That's what you can count on. You here at this channel have a relationship with me. This is not a religion. This is not a cult. You can freely go. I'm not going to hold you back. I am here to show you your future. You're getting glimpses of eternity. Little hints of where you're going to be going. Okay? And this update will take them way too long. There's probably 15 people out there trying to go live, and you guys are all stuck watching me, huh? I was really hoping that would update here pretty soon, and we could at least get a second bar. So maybe we'll hang out a little longer here. You guys want to hang out longer? Have you ever seen Planet X captures? Although I just showed you Planet X captures right there. Most of the Planet X or Nibiru captures that I've seen have all been lens flares. Okay, and I was not a Nibiru guy at all. I did not subscribe to that at all. I'm a Christian. I do not subscribe to Nibiru because I'm a Christian, right? But then you start reading a prophecy and you find out, oh, wait a second, what the heck's going, uh-oh, and then all the other things that happened to me, the angels showing up, demons attacking me, Satan attacking me, well, it's all because of who I am, right? You're in those days. Meantime, we just kind of chill, hang out together, you come meet me in the air, we'll do our show together, you get the relief that you need, you get to see some beautiful images that are noble and true and beautiful, okay? And they bring hope and courage to endure what you're going through, okay? And as you, whoops, I want to get rid of that one. As you endure what you're going through, we do our salvage work and salvage days. You know, every day isn't perfect. I had a bad day yesterday, and I tried to salvage it. I took a nap, and I overslept and missed my own show. So I went on late, still frustrated, but willing to try to salvage it. Okay, and some of the tools I use is you guys. Doing this show helps me salvage a day sometimes. So when I get on here and I'm a little upset sometimes, that's me in the middle of a salvage. And I'm reaching out to my family saying, help me. I'm in the middle of a salvage. And you guys show support, which in turn makes my heart feel better. Okay? That image right there should explain everything. Right there. Okay? It's because I love you guys. I miss you guys. We have been together before. You may not remember. But when we're back together again, it'll all come rushing back and you're going to go, oh my goodness. That's right. Also, too, something for you guys, when you accept this, when you accept and understand, how blessed are you now? You know, you have a gift now. You're blessed. Why would you throw such a thing away? So, it's important that you believe to receive. Keep practicing your salvation or your salvage work during the day, because then you'll be shining into other people's lives. And I guess it's just not going to do it. I'm waiting and waiting. This thing's 3-hour increments, and we've been live 2 hours and 52 minutes. How about 8 more minutes of video? Okay, let's see. What else can we do? We did step 1. Let's do the second one, where you can see some other stuff that took place here. Where was it going? Nah, we don't need to look at demons tonight. Oh, there we go.
Thumbnail for this actual model being pulled out from behind the sun. So, I did a stream yesterday and I was looking for a thumbnail for it, and I couldn't match up any pictures, wouldn't match up. And it wasn't until I started digging deeper into my pictures and I pulled up this one right here that I used as a thumbnail on my latest stream. That's when it occurred to me, this thing sitting next to this one, they're the same object. It's the same thing. Whoever made this craft right here is here now, and what I thought was a man standing on the plane before is actually one of the vertical stabilizers that comes out at an angle, kind of like an F-18's vertical stabilizers. They're not straight up and down vertically, they come out at an angle. Well, much like that, so do these ones right here. And what I thought was a man standing up is this vertical stabilizer right here. Okay, so now back to this one. When I was looking at this a long time ago, I was looking at this weird kind of grasshopper type looking head, almost like a snub-nosed dragon with a mouth right here, you know, a blunt shortened nose, 2 eyes, and this would be the head kind of looking this way. Okay, so again, the eyes, the snout, kind of a snub-nosed one with the curls back around with the mouth here. Okay, and I was just kind of baffled at what a weird nose. It actually looks like a creature or something like that. Match up any picture.
Okay, that's the same craft. This is an advanced race from 1,000 years ago that had flight. Okay, and this culture, whatever, made little trinkets, little gold trinkets of the craft that they saw 1,000 years ago, over 1,000 years ago. There was an advanced race that had the ability to fly. Okay, so I have advanced races from the past that follow, watch, and study my every move. Okay, also, to do this one really quick while we're killing time. Yeah, I was not a Nibiru guy until that thing showed up, and I'm like, oh my
And
God, this is
pulling
what
it
they're
over a
talking
little
about.
bit.
This is what they're talking about. Is this thing? It's not a lens flare. That's on right next to the sun. That's Soho's satellite capturing it. You know, NASA's own instruments capturing it. Okay, we're gonna play this one here really quick while we're killing time.
Not even enough time to process them yet, but here we go. So this one I saw unfolding when I was driving, and I couldn't take a picture until I got to this stoplight.
Because I
So
don't
I
drive
squeezed
and
off as many
text.
pictures as I could at this stoplight, and we're gonna start zooming in, pulling it over a little bit, and maybe some of you see it. Sure,
Yeah.
until I got to this stoplight.
Let's catch it
So I
just a little
squeezed
bit
off
better
as many
here.
pictures as I could at this stoplight, and we're gonna start zooming in, pulling it over a little.
Okay, there's Yoda in the sky right there. There's an eye, another eye, his nose, his stubby little chin right here at the power lines, an ear going out that way, and an ear going out that way. Here's his wrinkled chrome dome or dome shaped head. Okay, there's a giant Yoda head sitting in the clouds over the Sierra Nevada mountains, watching and studying and following my every move. Ascended masters like Yoda study me. They watch me. They follow
And
me.
maybe some of you see it now, but there's Yoda in the sky right there. Yes. And this is like one of these pictures that's multi-dimensional too. So if
Yeah, watch
you
this.
tilt your head to the right a little bit and make this an eye now, it turns into a gremlin or one of the little mogwais before he's eaten after midnight. So we had this sitting in the sky.
Multiple
Now,
faces.
I'm used to seeing angels and dragons and stuff, you know, biblical stuff. So this one caught me off guard.
All right. So, ascended masters like Yoda watch, follow, and study my every move. You want to see the Death Star? Look at this. Hopefully, you can see from here. Okay, this is the blown up Death Star. Here's the round back of it, the radar dish, and then the blown away side right here. All wreckage and stuff that's all blown away right there. The rest of the circle would have been right here. But that part of the Death Star is blown away. And that was at the same event as the Yoda face. And then there's other faces on the side of this too. Let's try this real quick.
One or something. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I just take the pictures and then report what I find. So if you Yoda in one part of the sky and a Death Star in another part of the sky. So after reporting on sun activity for a long time, I've noticed a lot of stuff going on around the sun. All right, on to the next.
All right. Well,
okay, so
hopefully there you can see the burned out Death Star with all the wreckage on this side right here going down, and then the back round part of it and the radar dish right there. So that was at the same time Yoda was sitting on the other side of the sky. So weird stuff that I'm capturing. Okay, and I just show you what I capture. I let the images do the explaining, kind of. Okay. All right, let's take a peek. Come on, update. I want to see what this next little bar is going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be a little stronger. We might see KP8 or even 8.5 or something. It might make this climb from G4 to G5. So, meantime, it should be here in the next little bit. An update on that next spike. Because we're in G4 and they're calling G4 storm conditions through the 17th, which is going to affect our weather in some crazy ways. Then also this gets absorbed down to the core. Then you're going to see a burp come up from down below, pressure coming up from the underside of the crust, pushing through perforations, trying to find its way to the surface. Okay. We're waiting on that. What other little things could we do? We got another ditty here we could show. That's an old one. Let's go. And these are all old videos. Back when I first started, I just did videos, but they took so long to upload that I could only do a quick little video when I have so much information. And look at that
Howdy
Schumann.
folks, welcome back. So here we got you over at the Schumann Resonance again, and we're getting into the 3rd of September, if you probably can't see the date, but I'm going to zoom in on this structure because it looks a little familiar. So let's just start zooming in really tight because I want you guys to look at this weave pattern, how we got segments and they're zigzag and staggered, and then we also have our colors going across this way as well. So let's just go really tight so you guys can kind of see this. It looks like coded almost information or something there. Okay, so there's that. Now I zoomed into that for a reason because it reminds me a lot of this right here. Now this is a picture that was taken about 2 years ago around this time of the year, and it captured what looks to be almost like a magnetic interference or two magnetic fields intersecting and causing this kind of effect in our clouds, much like the effect we're seeing here. Now this is a crop circle, but it's a representation of two magnetic fields interfering with each other.
It's
and you
one
can see how
pole
these
with two
things
magnetic
start to
fields.
separate along magnetic field lines. Okay, how all these little segments are all individual segments floating along magnetic field lines. Now in this picture, this seems to me that the clouds have now compressed and are falling into those magnetic field lines and starting to arrange themselves just like we saw in that little crop circle thing. And then if you tilt your head to the right a little bit and look at this as if these are going like hallways down this way, it really starts to look a lot like the Schumann resonance. See, a lot like this configuration here on the Schumann resonance, and it looks like just like one of those hallways, all in formation, equally divided and everything. So I think that this is an actual reading. So as I wrap this up, I wanted to say that, you know, we're seeing these magnetic field lines showing up on the Schumann. Folks, maybe watch your skies and start looking for any kind of telltale signs like this stuff down below here, a little lower, or even possibly something as complex as this maybe forming in your skies. A lot of people theorize this was Project Blue Beam or whatever, but it's not showing some kind of entity or anything. This is more like magnetic interference, two magnetic fields crossing or intersecting with each other, and this is the result, what would happen in the clouds. So folks, I'd say keep your eyes to the skies and see if you can capture anything like that.
Yeah, there's that one. Oh, what other goodies do we have from back then? You guys see one you want me to play? Oh yeah, we need to play this one. Okay. Okay, this is Strange Sounds over Slovakia. Okay, a region that just got hit pretty hard with some nasty weather. Well, we're going to play this video. This video has been sped up a couple of times because, well, we're just going to play.
Better clarity of what I'm about to show you, go over to her channel and watch this video. Give her a thumbs up like I'm going to right now. There you go. All right, here we go. Wait, before I start this video, I want to point out this face in the sky here. I've seen this face a lot lately.
I'm just going to leave it there.
I've just been afraid to kind of show it to you but in this video, here's this face. It's bisymmetrical. It's got black on one side, white on the other. Here's the eyes up here. I'm just going to start playing the video. And this was in a video about the sound in the sky, so I want you to listen to the sound.
Okay, this activity is already taking place. This is a couple of years old too. And now if you go look at the region of Slovakia, well, they're in ruins underwater and stuff right now. Ah, signs in the skies right here. And spitting lightning. Lightning came out of the mouth of this thing, and then you hear the harmonics, those tones. Growling. When this happened, that should have been a hint to the people in this region. But apparently they're not paying attention, or they just think that this is a coincidence or something. Everybody should have taken big gulp and a big notice right here when this event happened. It should have made the headline news and should have been earth-shattering headlines. But nope. We got a bunch of criminals covering their tracks. Well, that's why this is happening. It doesn't sound too happy, does he? Imagine if China went to go do something stupid and this appeared over Shanghai or Hong Kong. It's been showing up around the world. I know I've seen it in my region, except he smiles at me. He doesn't spit lightning and growl at my place. But other people that have been up against said person this whole time are paying dearly now. And there were signs warning them a long time ago like this. But did they listen? Did they take heed? Well, Slovakia is now suffering some consequences. That's a real event. You know, I show you faces in the clouds. These people obviously didn't see the face, but they heard all the noises and stuff. How could you miss this giant face spitting lightning at your town and harmonic tones? I mean, they didn't miss it, they recorded it, but this was just about the sound in the sky. It wasn't about the face. And you can see this white ridge over the nose right there. See that white ridge over the nose? Look, there's a white ridge over this nose too. Let's get in close on it. See that white thing over the nose right there? Because it has a broken nose. You know, they bolted him to the cross, nailed him to the cross, and then flipped the cross over. And he landed face first, and the first thing that landed was his nose, and everything and all the body weight and pressure, weight of the cross, all on the nose. So he got a broken nose. Same nose. Whoops. In this video, it's the same thing. This is God serving up your enemies in front of you and warning the people that are believers in the region that saw this probably skedaddled. Now, what's funny is I'll be watching some storm chasers and they're looking at the funnel and they're looking at the cloud structure and everything, and they're looking at a beautiful cloud like this. And meantime, I'm looking at the giant face that's looking down at the storm chasers, watching them running, scurrying around, going up and down this street and that street. Meanwhile, there's a giant face over them looking down at them, watching them, and they don't even know. I watched storm chaser videos so I could see the faces that are going on, and they don't even know. So the spiritual realm is a partaker in your weather. Yes? No? What do you think? See if we can catch it right on the lightning. There was one frame right where it just comes right out of the mouth and hits the ground. But anyways, more spiritual realm activity caught on camera. I mean, this should have made headlines, but apparently they're going to cover it up because it's too scary. All right, this is still glowing pretty bright red. Okay, nice and dark, deep red. So I'm expecting this probably climb a little bit higher. Because if it originally started here at 7.5, almost 8, and it was less intense than this, I expect that this will probably climb here with our next reading. That's why I've been kind of stalling and stretching this out, is to get this next reading. I want to see if it goes from 4 to 5 or if we drop or what, but I have a feeling it's going to either be the same or a little more intense. Okay, and this has the capacity to be a long duration one, because, well, we had 2 objects on this 3 days ago from this, okay? And we didn't see any kind of impact from the event 3 days ago. So I believe this impact that we're seeing is our 3 days ago on the 13th. What they're expecting on the 14th is further down the chart still to come. Okay, so we're going to endure what happened on the sun on the 4th to the 13th. And then what happened on the 14th, the big X flare will be coming here in the next few hours after this next spike here. Hopefully it reloads here. Can we have a, just in case? Nope, still hasn't refreshed yet. And like I said, these are 3-hour, oh no, wait, 6-hour increments now. Oh, great. Well, it looks like you're stuck here for another 3 hours. My bad. I thought those were 3 hours. Why does it used to be? Six. So we won't get another one till 6. All that time and energy not wasted, because we learned a lot, didn't we? We saw a lot of things, even some scary things. But even though these scary things right here, this face isn't coming after you. This one might be coming after you because he loves you, all right? So, therefore, you have nothing to fear if you're here with me, okay? Apparently, we're going to just call it a night because that next bar of data isn't going to be in for a long time. And I went on early and I missed my dinner, so I need to go eat still. All right, so I love you guys. I miss you guys. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. It was so much fun being with my family in the air, where they were caught up with me in the clouds, and we had a nice time together. All right, As you watch things unfold in the future here, remember, don't plug in too much. This is a battle for your mind. And they're trying to sway you into being scared when you have victory already and nothing to fear. All right. So trust, believe, and you will receive. You are indeed part of a special family. If you see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory, and you're caught up with me in the clouds, and you met me here in the air of cyberspace, where I have made a place where we can meet, then you truly are raptured, which isn't in the Bible, but you are complete. Okay? I love you. I miss you. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I am still to come. I love you all. Bye.